Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Welcome back to Wrestling Around with me, Lou, because Ross has decided to no-show.
Boo this man.
Yeah, so with us is the well-famous Aaron Franklin. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Lou?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks, Aaron. Nice to have you here. And hang on, there's someone else on the Terry.
I'm back.
You're back, but not for long, Terry, because you're all sacked. Get out.
It was a nice ride. That's what she said.
Okay, yeah, well, Terry's gone. Terry's fired, and I've got a sneaking suspicion that we won't be seeing him again for the rest of the episode. So Terry's actually now in real life. We have fired him, but he's getting his hair transplant tonight. So won't be here. And Ross is at the zoo. He's gone to the zoo today, so there's no Ross. So it's just me and Aaron Franklin for today. So we're going to do Slamboree 2000. We promised it last week. Ross and Terry didn't watch it, and I'm not even anywhere this week. So what was the point?
We could have done this 2 weeks ago.
Could have done it 2 weeks ago. But we're going to do it with Triple Cage action. We're going to do it tonight. But before we get into that, we need to discuss the weekend of wrestling because a lot's happened and a lot's going to happen in the next week.
Hell of a lot has happened, yeah.
So what's been your highlight of wrestling this weekend?
My highlight was AEW Rampage, Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega for the TNA title, or the Impact title, I believe it was for.
Yeah, it was both, wasn't it? I saw him with both belts. Yeah, I think the TNA title's back for some reason, even though it's not TNA anymore.
I just thought it was like some sort of, because I don't really follow TNA. I thought it was like an undisputed title kind of thing.
Yeah,
both titles.
Yeah, both titles, but so I've only seen like the finish, where obviously the not the Bullet Club, the Elite interfere, backfires, and a kill switch on the chair, which was frankly sickening, and Omega absolutely sold it like a champ. Like that was an incredible sell. It was just he managed to get his body vertical on the chair, like before just collapsing in a heap.
I was reading an article or an interview with Kurt Angle, was published earlier, and he was saying that Christian Cage could potentially be one of the all-time greats.
I saw that, yeah, because he's like, I think he's one of those wrestlers who like never has a bad match.
I'd agree with that.
Like you can
never.
He's
very underrated.
Yeah, I think that his problem is he's never had any. I mean, his main problem is that he was Edge's tag team partner, so he's just kind of been overshadowed like most of his life. But I think his issue is like he never had like a really classic match. Like, but he's always just had really solid matches, like 4.5 out of 5 like matches, like consistently.
Yeah.
And I guess he has had classics, but they've all been the big tag matches, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, like the kind of TLC, TLC2, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it sets up a lot of intrigue because I thought he looked like a bit of a weak challenger going into All Out.
I would agree with that. I think Kenny Omega is being pushed so much. I think his streak was not being pinned in a singles match in 731 days, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So I was thinking going into it, Christian Cage has got no chance here, and then he pulled that out of the bag. And it was I saw most of the match. I think I missed the beginning, but fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and it sets up Rampage well, doesn't it, as a weekly show?
And what I like about it, it's only an hour long.
Yeah, that's it. Because like Raw is just too long. But then I think you could quite easily watch SmackDown and Rampage back to back and not get bored, even though it's 3 hours as well.
That's what the plan is, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're hoping to keep on the viewers from SmackDown.
We don't have a Rampage number yet, but I think SmackDown did their highest rating since like 2019 on Friday night.
But did you see that Brian Alvarez had released a load of information about it? It was something to do with the NFL, was it?
Yes.
He was saying obviously the true figures won't be out until midweek this next week, I believe.
Yeah, let's see if we can find them. Let's see if they're out. Yeah, they normally come out at 9 o'clock. It's 8:30. They might not be out yet. We'll keep you updated as the show goes on. Yeah. Even though this is coming out on Wednesday, so you'll already know by that point the figures for both Rampage and SmackDown. But yeah, I think it's just, you've got 3 matches in an hour, which doesn't sound like a lot of time for 3 matches, to be honest, but it sounds like they're all bangers from what I've seen. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
on Fight TV at the moment, isn't it? Legally in the UK.
I mean, I saw some figures saying that there was something like 20-something minutes of wrestling in SmackDown, and then like 20-something minutes of wrestling worth in AEW.
Yeah, SmackDown was twice as long, but
yeah,
I will say that SmackDown, I've only seen the opening of SmackDown, and it was just a killer promo between John Cena and Roman Reigns.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it was glorious.
I haven't watched SmackDown this week.
You know what Cena's like? He goes off script a lot. So we got a CM Punk reference in there. We got a Dean Ambrose reference. We got a Nikki Bella reference from Roman, just for good measure.
One thing I found quite weird this week. I mean, I don't know if you follow WWE on YouTube, but they've been just spamming CM Punk matches.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by that. This part of me is like, I'm 99% sure that as this comes out on Wednesday, Friday's Rampage, the debut of CM Punk in the United Center. That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think CM Punk was on some MMA commentary last night, and he made a few references to being all elite. It's been all over the place, but there's a sneaking suspicion is that has Vince just thrown him a buttload of money to no show and turn up the next night at SummerSlam. Because WWE, I'm going to want to be overshadowed by CM Punk this weekend. It's a big weekend of wrestling coming up. Yeah. You've got SmackDown and Rampage on Friday, SummerSlam on Saturday, TakeOver on Sunday, potentially Adam Cole's last match.
I think it will be.
So there's a lot going on. Like WWE are going to want to pull something out of the bag. Like I am not by no means predicting that CM Punk is going to turn up. But I think they're going to pull something massive out of the bag. And I think what I'm going to pull out of the bag is I think John Cena is going to win his 17th World Championship.
I would agree. We spoke about it last week, didn't we? Where they were saying, he posted that picture, didn't he, of 17-time winners?
Yeah. I think he's going to do it because I think they've got a show at Madison Square Garden in September and he's on that. So I think he'll drop it back to Roman at that point.
Yeah.
But they've got to do something big if CM Punk is arriving. But it is weird that they just kind of spammed us with CM Punk recently. I've been very quiet on Daniel Bryan. Maybe it's Daniel Bryan who's debuting on Friday and not CM Punk. And we've all been conned.
Yeah, they're not going to debut at the same time, are they?
No.
They're not going to bring them both in at the same time.
Unless they do like a Scott Hall, Kevin Nash type deal. And it's the start of something else. And then Strowman's the third. I don't know. Braun Strowman or Bray Wyatt's the third guy. I don't know.
Imagine.
But yeah, it's shaping to really good. So we'll probably, our next episode is SummerSlam 2021. There's probably going to be a lot of AEW Rampage talk on that show as well.
I would imagine so.
If it goes the way we're expecting it to. Also, interestingly, WWE have announced the pay-per-view in December in Chicago, in the Allstate Arena, which I thought they might avoid while CM Punk is in AEW, especially for big shows, but they're going for it. December, I think it might be on my birthday, actually. It is on my birthday. So on my birthday...
this sounds like we need to have some sort of watch-along.
Yeah, WWE pay-per-view.
In person.
Yeah, we'll go to Chicago. Or just kind of stream it. But fuck it, let's go to Chicago. But yeah, so they've just announced the pay-per-view, so I don't know. I think CM Punk is 99% sure he's going to land in AEW on Friday. Yeah. But you don't know what Vince has got up his sleeve.
Is he going to bring someone else back?
Yeah, I don't know who you could bring back, like The Rock or Brock. Yeah. Brock doesn't feel like he's been gone long enough for it to be like exciting.
No, I agree with that. Is he going to bring back Bray with all these Bray chants?
Yeah, that's it. And there was rumours that he was Strowman, and Strowman's been counting down, hasn't he, 13 days, but I think that might just be to the end of his no-compete.
Yeah, I think it is. He's already lined up, got a match in, is it December? Or
the one in Qatar.
AAA, is it?
Yeah. I thought he was in the Qatari All-Stars wrestling or something in April.
Oh, yeah, it is,
like
isn't
Tommy, him and Tommy Dreamer, and it's a really random show. Like Bret Hart, I think, is probably on there because he turns up to all those type of things. I guess the other news is I think WWE going back to Saudi Arabia in October. So if you love
that'd be fun for everyone.
Weird shows with really quiet crowds who aren't paying attention.
And really old wrestlers.
And really old wrestlers. Who are they going to have now? Because all the old wrestlers are in AEW, like Hogan.
you able to bring back Hogan?
We're going to get Hogan Goldberg again, aren't we? One final time.
Literally, who else could they bring back?
Yeah.
Literally, they could bring back the NWO.
Yeah, because what we've not mentioned as well is Ric Flair. He's in. He turned up in AAA.
He did. With Andrade.
Yeah, who got defeated by Kenny Omega. I was quite surprised with that, actually. I thought once Christian had beat him, I thought he might start losing all his other titles. So he's just got the AEW title left.
Yeah. I mean, I know what AEW were going to do with the. Well, I have a feeling what they're going to do with the AEW title. It's either going to be Daniel Bryan or CM Punk. Hands down, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be Hangman Adam Page, who may or not have joined our Twitch stream on Wednesday. I just sent a screenshot to Ross and Terry, so they're pretty sure it is. And they're just confused as to why that happened. But yeah, he's gone quiet, hasn't he? I think he's taken some time off for to have a child. Fair enough. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Page. But yeah, it's like you can't really sign Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and keep them on the main event forever, or even for too long at all. And that's the kind of bit by circling back to Adam Cole and his last match. Is it kind of, if he does go to AEW, he's going to find it really hard to get into that main event?
I think they'll bring him in as a mid-carder at first, which I think is fine because he's come from the developmental.
Yeah.
Sure. I think he could have quite a good feud with Miro if that was the case.
Yeah, someone take that title off him.
Yeah, because he's had that quite a while now, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's been very dominant, so that would be a good step in our direction. But yeah, it's AEW is looking stacked at the moment. So it really is.
You know, it's funny because what did I say a few weeks ago? We're going to make another show, and I totally wasn't following social media at this point.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of Rampage, and it's happened.
Yeah, even 3 hours doesn't feel like enough, does it? I know they've got Dark and Dark Elevation, but like main event isn't it off Velocity? Like, but there's the proper shows. Yeah, like they've got 3 hours of wrestling now, compared to WWE's 5. And I think I read that the total combined wrestlers on Raw and SmackDown is still less than AEW. Like AEW's roster is stacked.
Yeah, they've just got that deal in India now, haven't they?
Yeah, on Eurosport randomly. Because I saw that and I was like, bloody hell, yeah, it's going to be on Eurosport, brilliant, Rampage, and then only Fight TV for us. I just don't understand what is so important on ITV4 at like 3 a.m. on a Friday night that we can't get Rampage live.
Yeah, I know. I have been watching Dynamite on ITV Player.
Yeah.
I had a look the other night and I think I'm just going to sign up for Fight TV because it's just easier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I watch the AEW pay-per-views when I watch them.
Are they free on there?
No, you've got to pay extra for them. They're not cheap. They're not as expensive as New Japan, because I remember we tried to watch the New Japan show. We were going to review the one that we went to a few years ago. And I think even though it was like a 2-year-old show, it was still like 40 quid to watch it. I think I remember paying for Double or Nothing, which is AW's first one. I think that was 25 quid, but when you sign up, you can get like 20 quid. So it was like I paid like a $5 for it. But that's, I think it's normally about 25 quid, something like that. I've got the app. I will. Do you know what?
Yeah, it can't be long before they bring out their own app, like WA Network.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way it's going. But then again, saying that, WWE's going the opposite way, isn't it? Like they've canned it in America, and
it's on Peacock now, isn't it?
Yeah, they could can it over here, apparently, because Peacock is launching on Sky, which I hope doesn't happen because I've just moved to BT from Sky to get WWE.
Yeah, I don't have Sky,
so I could really do without Peacock taking all the WWE content. Yeah, and I like the network and how it goes at the moment, because it allows us to watch 21-year-old WCW shows at the click of a button.
Just a highlight, really.
Exactly, it is. Like, you get so much replay content out of it. Like, I know I'm behind on so many documentaries and stuff, but and I watch the current WWE pay-per-views as much as I can. But just, you fancy watching that like random match from like 15 years ago? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's on there. Even if you want to watch stuff on the old territory days, it's all on there, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, it's just there's so much nostalgia, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think this is why I find it hard to keep up so much with today's content, is because I spend a lot of time watching all the stuff.
Yeah, rewatching all the stuff. And let's be honest, it's more compelling. Like, I'm a big SmackDown fan, but I've given up on Raw for like a good year now since I watched the full episode of Monday Night Raw. because it's the same matches every week. It's nothing happens, and you can skip a show. You can skip a whole month sometimes in between pay-per-views, especially with Raw, and you've not missed a single thing. You just you watch the pre-show, and you're like, okay, what's there now? This will be good, because the pay-per-views are always great, WWE pay-per-views, but 3 hours of Raw is a lot to watch every week. It's just too much.
3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown. And if you've got a pay-per-view that week, that could take you to 10, 11.
Yeah, and that's before you take into account NXT.
Yeah, or AEW or TNA.
Yeah,
keep up with that stuff.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, New Japan. Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah.
You spend like a solid 3 days with no sleep, trying to keep up with content. It's just crazy.
I don't know how these professional YouTubers, not like we're not professional, or we're not because we don't get paid for this, but these professional guys who kind of review every show like an Alvarez type, how do they do it? How do they manage? No one of us are cynical about everything when you watch that much wrestling. Like, I like SmackDown though because I get the weekend to watch it. I still need to, we're recording this on a Monday night. I still need to finish last week's SmackDown, but I've got time. But yeah, Raw I've given up on, and NXT and AEW I'll watch if something good happens.
Well, I think NXT is going to change anyway, isn't it? Because they want younger, bigger guys.
Yeah, like it used to be, which I can I know everyone's been up in arms about it, but I can kind of see it in a way because they've not had a main event to come out of there for a while now. I mean, they should have had a main event to come out of there for a while now. Like Aleister Black.
There's plenty of people who've come out of NXT who should have gone straight into the main event.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe didn't get the stars properly.
No. I know he was unlucky with injuries, but it would have been nice to see him have like a world title in.
I know I'm digressing here a little bit, but I can never understand why Samoa Joe went into NXT and AJ Styles went straight to main roster.
Yeah, AJ Styles is and the weird one as well is Mike Bennett. Like, how the hell did he manage to skip NXT? Like,
well, it's because they wanted Maria, didn't they?
Yeah, where did that come from? That was a weird one. Just very rarely happens, isn't it? Because I think AJ Styles, I remember him saying that he just wasn't interested in NXT. He was like, I've worked hard enough now that I don't need to be on a developmental. Even though at that point it was when he joined 2016, wasn't it? So it was kind of... Oh, Samoa Joe was there at the same time, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was. It was not long after, was it, that Samoa Joe joined? But Samoa Joe was a huge star. Yeah,
in fact, I think Samoa Joe might have joined before because I'm pretty sure he headlined the London event in like 2015. I'm pretty sure Samoa Joe was there before, actually. Yeah, Nakamura was another one where he was he's like a five-time world champion in New Japan and then went for NXT. But again, he had great matches, but it would have been cool to see AJ Styles NXT. I still wouldn't be against it if they did it. You know, Finn Balor went down there for a bit. Seemed to beef up his character a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
Doing that.
I agree with NXT going with younger guys. I'm not too sure about the bigger guys because I think it's I'm gonna miss out on so much talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like some of the smaller guys put on way better performances.
Yeah,
I know Vince loves his big guys, doesn't he?
He just loves a big sweaty man, but it doesn't need to be that way anymore, does it? Like, you know, you look at AEW, you look at NXT, and I think Vince will look at it and think, well, NXT is getting like a fair that the viewers Raw's getting, so this is what they want. Everyone wants like Jinder Mahal to Goldberg and stuff, but the crowd reactions that NXT wrestlers get, because I've been to like a few NXT takeovers, few NXT tapings, few WWE shows. I think like it's weird that like WWE is the biggest and most successful, but their shows, the crowds never feel as hot. When you watch an AEW, or even the indie shows that we went to, like when we went to WCW World Cup, like it was a hot crowd.
Yeah,
the entire night, and like, you know, it was that because Terry Peters had like a full bottle of wine to himself. Maybe that was part of the reason. But I think a lot of it as well is that it's just they get the crowd pumping with those types of matches. Like,
and I think this is, I don't know, digressing again, but WCW was so popular because the cruiserweight division was so strong. And it was something. It was something totally different to WWF in the day where it was just big guys. Obviously, at WCW, it started the streak and the ratings, and WWF were like, "Oh, actually, we're missing out on something here."
Yeah.
But even still, when at the height of WWF Attitude Era, the cruiserweight division was nothing in comparison to WCW.
No, not in the slightest. Like, what did they have? Tucker, Gilbert, and that wasn't good. But yeah, I think that high flying one is what's going to bring in casual fans now. I don't think people want 6'8" big beefy lads anymore. They've got a place. Obviously, I'm not going to turn down a Walter match or a run on the main roster for him. But
yeah,
I remember even when World of Sport was on TV for that one, not the old school one, but the one that was on 2 years ago. It was everyone was the people at work who'd kind of tuned in because it's on ITV at 5:00 on a Saturday. They weren't oh, you see that big lad in the main event. They were it's mad what these guys do these days, isn't it? Because they're seeing Will Ospreay do 450s off ladders and stuff, and I think that's what gets people involved now. It's
I'm not even. I don't mind, like you say, I don't mind big guys, but I like guys like Keith Lee who are big, but they're athletic as well.
Athletic as hell, yeah.
Yeah.
And we should give a shout out to Keith Lee actually, because I think this is the first one we've recorded since he released his video. Hell of a last 6 months for Keith Lee.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad he's back on the mend. Obviously, he's had COVID, and so kind of a very, very severe reaction to it, which is where at this point we just kind of cut and paste Ross's usual COVID rant in.
You've seen all the smarks on Twitter blaming Mia?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Out of order.
Yeah, it's just I just don't understand how you get to a point where you think, right, I'm going to have to abuse a wrestler's wife to get my point across. I will never understand that. By all means, disagree with people on Twitter, and kind of, I have people who kind of disagree with me a lot.
So
that's fine. But abusing wrestlers' wives because they've got COVID.
So
and Keith got it first as well. That's the weirdest thing about it. It's nothing to do with her. She missed the Royal Rumble to look after him. She put herself at harm's way to look after her husband. And you want to go and abuse her? Get fucked.
So for those viewers who are interested, I've now joined Twitter.
Yes, you have.
So I've thrown a couple of comments around on Twitter. That's some of the wrestling marks on there.
Yeah, have you had much abuse yet?
None.
That's good. You do better than I am.
I've gained a few followers, whether it's because of the comments I've made or what, I don't know. But I'm sure it's all to come.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but no, follow you. Where can we follow you on Twitter? We'll do it now.
Do you know them thing? I can't even remember what my Twitter handle is. Let's find it out. So it's just Frankenstein921, just exactly the same as my Twitter and my Instagram.
Excellent. That's what I want. Bit of breaking news for you. The Royal Rumble 2022 is going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. Just got that through. It won't be breaking news by Wednesday, obviously, because everyone will know. But it's breaking news for Aaron right now. So that's what we're going. Hometown of Randy Orton. Speaking of Twitter, someone I want to shout out to, and we're going to move on to the next segment now, is I want to shout out to Mr. J. Ryan, who joined us on Wrestling Around Weekly Wednesday Wrestling. Wrestling Around Wrestling Federation Weekly Wednesday Wrestling, sorry. And he's probably listening to this podcast right now, unless you listen to the CM Punk one and thought, you know what, I've had enough of that Terry guy. I don't want any more of this. But I want to give him a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. He stayed for the whole show as well.
Exactly, which is more than we said for Terry.
He didn't even turn up.
But thank you.
Never does anymore, does he?
Never does. He's always playing Call of Duty or whatever he's doing. So thank you, Mr. J. Ryan. And the Wrestling Around Wrestling Federation results. It was a short show because it started late. Samoa Joe beat the Chicken. Bob Ross beat Adam Pacitti, which is unexpected. And we've got a new champion in Omos beat Arn Anderson for the Henchman title.
He did.
Which I am sure will not set the internet ablaze at all. So that's what happened on Wrestling Around Wrestling Around Wrestling Federation Weekly Wednesday Wrestling. Join us tonight at 7:30, twitch.tv/Wrestle Around. And I think just let me interrupt you because I think someone's trying to join a call. Who we got here? Is it Ross?
Hello.
That's it's fucking Terry.
He's back.
Not this nonce.
It was me all along.
Yeah, no, just get out, Terry.
Oh, bye, guys.
Okay, so enough about Wrestling Around Wrestling Federation. Enough of fucking Terry. He is sacked. Keeps trying to get back in, but he's sacked. Believe me. So we're going to move on to Slamboree 2000, the main event, what you're all here for. Obviously, at this point, we normally rely on Ross's well-thought-out, well-written notes. I have not done the same when I'm hosting today's, so I am using RetroProWrestling.com's review of WCW Slamboree 2000, which I'm sure will be fine. So let's give a shout out to them. Visit RetroProWrestling.com for all your retro pro wrestling needs. So, bit of background. We're kind of in the midst of Vince Russo.
Yeah.
The Vince Russo era. Bischoff's back. They're both trying to work out. WCW at this point, frankly, is in the toilet. It's not going well. They're getting their ass kicked to this point. The 83 weeks has been and gone a long time ago now. This is kind of WCW is kind of it's bottoming out almost. I mean, it'll get lower. It'll sink a lot lower next year. And obviously, this is the last ever Slamboree because WCW a year later wasn't in business. Just to segue straight off the bat, I'm surprised that we've not had an NXT Slamboree yet, or even an AEW one. I thought that'd be something that the Triple H would be all over at least, or Cody.
Yeah, well, AEW are slowly starting to buy rights to all WCW stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, they've had Bash at the Beach, haven't they? Is it Battle of the Belts that's going to be there because they can't get Clash of Champions, so they're going to have Battle of the Belts as like the TV specials.
Right. Okay.
Going forward, because Clash of the Champions is obviously still.
I'm just waiting on someone to cash in on Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, well, we had NXT Halloween Havoc last year, didn't we? I think WWE renewed that one.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like a random episode, but they had the pumpkin, so I can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, the pumpkin. I can't wait till NXT get back in big arenas and they can do the proper stuff because they take it seriously. They have different sets in your house. It's a house. Halloween Havoc. It's a pumpkin. That's what we want more of, really. But yeah, Slamboree. This was the last ever Slamboree, and obviously when we've done kind of Slamborees in the past, I think we did 94 last time. It was our last WCW show, which is Slamboree. Very different vibe this time. There's no kind of returning legends or anything like that. There's no big kind of Hall of Fame announcement at the start. It's very much just another pay-per-view at this point. New fancy logo. And we're at the Kemper Arena, which is sadly where the year before Owen Hart passed away, like a year before this. Normally go through the Feud at this point, but the Kemper Arena is now a leisure centre. It's no longer a arena. So we've got a commentary team of, let me remember him, Tony Schiavone, obviously the mainstay of WCW still there. And then we've got Scott Hudson and Mike Madden. Aaron, what do you think of the commentary team?
I like Schiavone. I like Hudson. Cannot stand Madden.
No, he's a bit of an odd one, isn't he?
I have a lot of time for Hudson. So I know we spoke about this the other week, didn't we? Say, why didn't WWE bring him on?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, I was reading a bit about it the other day, and they did. They offered him a contract. He did a couple of like the Raw, SmackDown shows during the invasion, the invasion, and he turned down the contract due to the fact that he has a very highly well-paid job in the police force where he lives.
Oh wow! Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so I knew did he do the Booker T Buff Bagwell Raw main event?
Yes,
that went down horribly.
Yes, he did.
Basically cancelled WCW forever.
So basically, he works for WCW just like it's like a part-time job.
Yeah. Scott Hudson. Weirdly, Scott Hudson and Mike Madden. I was, once upon a time in a different life, I was a moderator on WrestleZone.com's forums.
Yes.
In my youth, before I went to university. Scott Hudson and Mike Madden, both members. They the website that bought WrestleZone got them in to do like Q&As and stuff, but obviously this was before Twitter, but so everyone was anonymous. There was no one posted their real name. A lot of abuse. The whole thing lasted about 2 weeks. We had these two, Conan and Eugene.
Disco Inferno.
Disco Inferno, of course, yeah. So a lot of WCW mainstays, really. But yeah, Scott Hudson and Matt Madden were both on that. I can't remember anything about them, to be honest. I remember Conan being really abusive.
We can't talk after getting put in the figure 4 by Ric Flair.
He did, yeah. Because I'm glad to see Conan's doing well. I always on this show, I hated Conan as a wrestler. It really irritated me. But glad to see he's doing well because I know he had a few, and Ric Flair as well, actually.
But is he too old?
Yes. I think what he did on Saturday was fine. Just a few chops, a few punches, and a figure four. I'm assuming he got back up from the figure four, so I think that's fine.
Is it leading on to bigger and worse things?
I think AEW will be too sensible to do it. But also, another weird wrestling news on this weekend, just to kind of segue back onto that. Jerry Lawler defeated Enzo Amore in a casting match.
I saw this. I haven't seen the match. I have seen the results posted.
I've just seen I saw the advert before it, and I've seen the result afterwards. You don't beat Jerry Lawler in Memphis, I guess, however it was, Tennessee. But yeah, what a random match to book. But yeah, he's 71. He's had like multiple heart attacks, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's still going. But I hope that Ric Flair doesn't, because it's going to get sad after a while, isn't it?
This is the thing with wrestlers, though. They just don't know when to give in, do they?
No, literally nobody does.
They have it in the blood.
Yeah.
Wrestling in the blood, and they just can't give it up because they have got nothing else to fall back on.
Yeah, I can't think of one. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, is he the only wrestler who gave it up for good? Even Shawn Michaels came back eventually, didn't he?
Yeah. Stone Cold's the one that kind of stuck to his guns and said, "No, I'm retired from in-ring competition."
Yeah, but
he still has both his feet in the wrestling business, but not getting back into rings.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. How old is Flair now? He's got to be in his late 60s, isn't he? At least.
I'd say he must be early 70s now, surely.
Because Vince is 74, isn't he?
Most Jack's 74-year-old in existence.
He's 72.
Yeah.
So
he looks older than Vince.
He does. Maybe Vince is older than I thought, actually, is he? How old's Vince? So Vince is 75. It's his birthday. It's his birthday next week. I'll have a Vince McMahon celebration next week. But yeah, 72, like... Yeah, he can't be wrestling. I know people are joking about Ric Flair and Sting having one more match in AEW. I don't want it. Don't want it. That's all.
I think Sting's doing enough at the moment. Apparently he's having a match, isn't he, shortly?
Yeah, I think so. Is it against 2.0? What they've called? Yeah, former Everest.
But he's still in good shape.
Yeah. And he's doing tag matches where he's going to be protected. He's not going to do a lot. He's just going to come in and get his shit done and get out of there. So,
I mean, he'd probably be in a lot better shape if Seth Rollins hadn't have nearly killed him.
Yeah. He does maintain it's not Seth Rollins' fault, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he says. But it's the Booker one of his stupid move to take, I think, in general.
Yeah.
But especially if you were Sting's age.
Seth Rollins hasn't exactly got a good track record.
No, there was Cena.
Sting.
Yeah, I remember Bret Hart had a big rant about it. In fact, I believe I spoke to Bret Hart about it when I met him in Newcastle.
Really? What did you say?
He was talking. I think I mentioned something about Seth because we all had to go over to him and we're talking about like different things. In fact, do you know what? I'm completely lying. It wasn't me. It was the guy in front of me, whoever that was. I talked to him about his book, but I remember him saying like, "Yeah, no, I thought he was." But I think at that point, he'd made amends or he's back in WWE's good books. I talked to him about his book. Just because I just wanted to completely different. Oh my god, you're my favorite wrestler, like. Yeah. So I decided to talk to him about his book. It is a really good book. Actually.
I mean, I'll probably annoy all the wrestling marks here, but not a Bret fan.
No, were you kind of? I guess it wasn't out of you, was it? You'd kind of when we were watching these kids, like Montreal already happened. We just saw like WCW, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which wasn't very good. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart. Where were we going? Oh, yes, Scott Hudson is on commentary with Mark Madden and the legend that is Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone, I feel like, is getting a bit fed up at this point, just with WCW in general. Like, he doesn't seem as enthusiastic as he would say 3 years beforehand.
No.
For doing that,
I still don't think he gets the recognition. I think he's very underrated as a commentator.
I think he is. I'm glad he's getting it now. I know he had his podcast kind of really brought him back into the mainstream, didn't it? And then,
but I've always been a big Schiavone fan. Always.
Yeah.
Now, when AEW first got announced, I was so excited to hear that Tony Schiavone was coming on board because I've always been and JR as well.
Yeah. The thing is, with like Schiavone, he doesn't sound like he's lost a step, does he? Like JR, bless him, a few botches here and there, but I still love JR, friend of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony Schiavone he's just as good as he was 20. In some ways, better because he's commenting over a better product now.
Yes, seems a lot happier. I think.
Yeah,
Everyone says, though, that if you're in a job that year, you're happy and you put better performance in. And I think that's entirely true about Schiavone.
Absolutely. Yeah. But let's go back to when he wasn't happy. So the opening match is for the Cruiserweight Championship. And just as we were like saying about 20 minutes ago, like how great the WCW Cruiserweight division was.
Maybe not so much here.
It's kind of ended at this point, hasn't it? It very much felt like just another belt at this point, but with just two guys who were slightly smaller, which I think was always WWE's problem, wasn't it? It wasn't a different style. It was just another WCW match, but with two slightly smaller guys.
So I've written a few bits about this.
Yeah. So we got Chris Candido coming out with Tammy, obviously Sonny. Yeah.
She's trying to strip and show our assets off to the crowd, and then Chris Candido's like dancing around her, and he's trying to hard her. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, very strange. Because they were the heels, wasn't she? But she was like, "No, I'm going to get them out anyway because that's what you want."
Yeah. And then the artist comes out with Paisley.
Yes, who is, of course. I'll let you reveal it.
I've got no idea, to be honest.
It's Booker T's wife, Chanel.
Did put two and two together with that one.
Yeah.
However, I did write some notes. So I put, what the fuck is this awful gimmick?
Yeah.
Then I wrote Purple Rain rip-off for his music.
Yep.
Then I put, because I didn't actually know who it was. I didn't put two and two together. But his final pay-per-view, this was his final pay-per-view appearance.
How was it?
Yeah, apparently.
That would make sense, yeah. I guess he was doing the Velveteen Dream gimmick before Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, it was just a rip-off of Prince, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, in every single way, yeah.
The music, the costume. Like, I've written here, no way resembles Prince.
No, he doesn't seem like the right... I guess the gimmick was that was he Prince Ikea before this?
Yeah,
Prince,
he was,
Prince
yes.
Ikea, like Swedish wardrobes or something. I don't know, Prince Ikea, but I guess that was the gimmick, and I guess that's where, like, because this is peak Russo, this full show, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that's where he was going with this, but yeah, he didn't really have the charisma to pull it off, really. I won't spend too much time on the Velveteen Dream for obvious reasons. But yeah, he probably did it better because he had the charisma to pull that gimmick off. Like, I think Prince is a very hard man to replicate, especially in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
It feels a bit strange.
Did you notice how many botches were in this match?
Yes. Yeah, it was not a good match. Do you know what? We'll get up Meltzer's star ratings as well while I'm here.
I think I've written star ratings for most of the matches as well, to be fair.
Let's compare what you've got against...
Right, should I go first then?
Yeah, you go first and I will get up...
So I gave this half a star.
Half a star? Hang on a minute. I've messed this up. I'm not as prepared as Terry when it comes to the all-star ratings.
Just to go into it. So
just fucking praise Terry.
There's a few botches. So there's a failed Hurricaneorama from the turnbuckle by Candido. Then there's a failed... I don't know how you botched this, but there's a failed Schoolboy by the artist.
Yeah, that is a very hard move to botch.
And then the finish just seemed like a massive botch because there was a 3 count after the chair shot, but then the ref carried on.
Yeah, it was really weird, wasn't it?
He said, "Oh no!" So he counted 3, and then the ref was like, got up and he was like, "Oh no, it's a 2 count." No, it was definitely a 3.
Yeah,
so I saw his hand hit the mat 3 times.
Yeah,
and then the match just carried on.
I think what was weird about that was like there was no need to redo it because Candido won anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, if he has botched and he's counted to 3, just end the match there. Like,
yeah.
We didn't really... I felt like there must be, because it was obvious the botch, so I was like, they must be doing so big here. And then he just kind of did his finisher and ended it anyway, like 2 minutes later. So what was the point? Just chalk it up, just finish it 2 minutes early. Yeah, it went wrong, but surely it's better than kind of just pretending the pin and the music started playing didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just roll with it. Very, very strange.
I'm sure there was an extra 2 minutes that they could have put into one of the other quality matches.
Yeah, I'm sure. But Dave Meltzer was very generous compared to you. He gave it 2 stars.
That's really pushing it with the amount of botches in there.
Yeah, which, it wasn't a great match. I don't know what 2 stars means in Meltzer's on the card, it's in the lower half of what's on the card. So I guess in that way, since it's fair, but it's not the worst match. It's the third worst match.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'll just got a quick flick through, but I'm pretty sure this is my worst rating for the night.
Yeah, he's gave 2 1-star, but we'll get to them later in the show. But it's classic Meltzer stuff. Fucking hell. Again, right, who's on the line? Just tell us who's on the line this time.
I feel like Eugene.
Oh, because Eugene also got sacked by Terry.
Yeah, by Tez.
So from a match you hated, Aaron, to a match that I think, if I know you, you have enjoyed a lot more.
Yeah.
It's Terry Funk versus Norman Smiley and a mystery guest.
Well, I'm just going to start off by saying...
Middle-aged and crazy Terry Funk, should I say.
The promo they put on before the match was absolutely fantastic. It was just Terry Funk taking a shitload of bumps.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah, speaking of retirees, or people who should have retired, Terry Funk,
still going now as well.
Yeah, I love how he's like the old man in this, the crazy old man, and this is in the year 2000.
21 years later, and he's still taking.
he's still going, still taking his hand bumps. Well, I mean, this match, I don't even know where you go with this match.
Right, so I'm just going to start off. The first thing I wrote about this match was I just put I love Norman Smiley.
Yeah, I knew you did. I knew that, like, before you joined the show, there was a long time where you were asking us to cover some Norman Smiley WCW Hardcore Division matches. So I'm glad the time we've finally done it is when you're on the show. When you're on the show.
This was like the best era of Norman as well, because it was screaming Norman Smiley on it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Like, it was just ridiculous. Yeah. So, what did you think of the mystery partner?
I knew it was straight away.
Yeah.
I've not. I don't recall seeing this as a kid. This pay per view, but I knew it was straight away. It's Ralphus for those who are watching. Made famous by Chris Jericho. Yeah,
making his return. The last time he was on pay per view was a year before Uncensored 1999 when he was accompanying Chris Jericho.
And there's a good story behind Ralphus, isn't there? Because when Chris Jericho found out he was going to go to WWF, he went to Ralphus and said, "Yeah, I'm going to WWF," and Ralphus was like, "Oh, when we're going?" And Jericho was like, "Nah, it's just me, mate."
Yeah. Imagine how different Ralphus's career could have been if he followed Jericho to the WWF. The wrestling landscape may have changed forever. We may have had like a multi-time world champion on our hands.
Yeah, without a doubt.
In Ralphus. But he did work backstage, didn't he? As like a truck driver or something. He was just a random guy who he found, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was either a truck driver or he was the coach driver. I can't remember which. And Jericho just liked the way he looked and thought he was hilarious. So that's why he invited him to... because there's a famous entrance, isn't there, where it's the era where Jericho's taking a piss out with Goldberg all the time.
Yeah.
And he has Ralphus and the guy just walking to the ring. And Ralphus is wearing it like that T-shirt that's just cropped. Yeah.
That's why he can't find a way to the ring, you know. Does he end up like leaving the arena by accident or something because he can't get there yet?
So this match, really enjoyed it. There's a good bit where Terry Funk was just not Terry Peters, obviously.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Terry Funk just throwing chairs at Ralphus, just chair after chair after chair. Must have thrown about 10 chairs at him. It was just brilliant.
Do you think Ralphus knew what was going on? Because I'm assuming Ralphus had never really worked a match before.
I doubt it.
Do you think Funk beforehand was like, "Hey Ralphus, I'm going to lob a load of chairs at you"? I just think he was just in the moment, like.
I think he was just in the moment.
I'm just going to throw the chairs.
Did you see Terry Funk no-sell the trash can attack by Ralphus?
Oh,
Ralphus hit him with a trash can, and Terry Funk just totally no-sold it.
It's kind of like a light tap on him, just like. I was like, "What is going on?" I love the way the commentators were just taking the piss as well. Like, it's like, who is this? Who is this guy?
I know it gets a lot of stick. I love the WCW Hardcore Division.
Yeah, it was almost like so bad it was good.
Yeah,
I think at this point, like.
Just when the first week when Terry's walking around and he tries to find Norman Smiley. He goes into the toilet and it's Ralph. It's just ridiculous, so ridiculous. It's entertaining,
and it goes for 10 minutes as well.
I would have happily taken those 2 minutes from the first match and put them into this match.
Yeah, well, someone who agreed. Well, maybe they agree, maybe they don't. Dave Meltzer also gave this match 2 stars. He tried the same.
I think so. Mine is 4 stars.
4 stars. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going for the Franklin reign every time. In years to come, people will be arguing over your ratings instead.
So now I just wrote in big capital letters, wiggle. Because the normal Smiley wiggle. And Ralph is doing the wiggle at the end. It's also brilliant. It
really was his hardcore division at this point, wasn't it? He's like if you look at the WWF one, you got Crash Holly being the mainstay. It's Norman Smiley, isn't it, for WCW?
100%. I think what made it better was he was a coward, wasn't he?
Yeah,
that was his whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think it just works so well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it on my review to kind of cover these. I'm just looking at the screenshot of Ralphus now with his top off at this point in the ring. You've got Norman Smiley trying to attack Terry Funk from behind. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And the writing at this point gets a lot of kind of people don't like it, but I thought this was brilliant. I think for me, this is one of my favorite parts of the night. Yeah, it's just entertaining, isn't it? You don't need every match to be like a 5-star classic at all. This is what you want from wrestling sometimes. As Eric Bischoff says, wrestling's a buffet.
It's a 4-star classic right off the bat, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant stuff.
I haven't really got much else to say about this. No. I just enjoyed the whole thing.
There was just a bit where Funk was covering Smiley, and then I think Ralphus just forgot to break up the pin.
Yeah.
When he was meant to. He was just there, I think they must have just told him an hour before the match. I don't think he had any time to prepare for this.
No,
I don't think anyone told him what was going on at all, which makes it even better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. Quality hardcore match. So it gets to the ring, and eventually Terry Funk wins.
Yeah, by schoolboy
with a roll up. No less, which is not how I thought that would go, but I imagine that feud continued forever and it would have become one of the classics. So what happens next is David Arquette turns up, and David Arquette, who's in the main event tonight and is the current WCW champion. Does Mean Gene want to talk about that? No, he just wants to know how much Courtney Cox is getting paid for Friends.
Yeah. Big questions, isn't it?
Yeah. And $1 million per episode. 20 years ago? Christ, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why David Arquette could afford to be in Ready to Rumble and make no money. What's presumably nobody whatsoever for that. But he does say that he's scared about his role in the Triple Cage match.
He didn't seem scared, though. I don't think he sold it well enough.
And he's got a costume, hasn't he? And you would think this would be the bit where David Arquette exceeds being an actor. Mm-hmm. You would think he would just look absolutely petrified. But
I thought it was quite a poor promo. If I'm honest.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. Bad question from Mean Gene in the beginning, which Ross would hate because he's not a Mean Gene fan. And then it's a bad answer, to be honest.
I'm just gonna stop you there. How can you not be a Mean Gene fan?
Don't get me started. I'm a big fan of Mean Gene. I think he's brilliant. I like the fact he gets him in people's faces.
Yeah. You think at WCW, Mean Gene's got to be up there.
Yeah, old school WWF. I'm a big fan, but Ross is really not a fan of Mean Gene. God rest his soul.
He's better than Michael Cole. What he was doing at this point,
and his bloody frosted tips. Yeah, the gravitas of Mean Gene. Possibly is the best to ever do it. But yeah, no, I agree. We'll confront Ross. We won't tell him because he won't listen to this. So we'll confront him on next week's episode of what the fuck. I guess that will open the show.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So we just had a great match that was quite good. We're then moving into Shawn the Perfect One Stasiak against Kurt Hennig. I'm pretty sure that Stasiak came out to Kurt Hennig's music.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Thought that was what it was.
So he stole his music, stole his identity, and that was the whole feud, wasn't it?
Yeah. So not a very good match, I think. This is when I was like, this pay-per-view could go on a while.
So all I wrote was Hennig gives some loud chops to Stasiak, and then Stasiak wins using the Hennigplex. That's literally all I wrote.
Yeah, I like what they were trying to do, but maybe Stasiak is if you're going to take off Mr. Perfect, you've got to be pretty talented.
Yes.
And no offense to Stasiak, I believe he had a run after this as Meat. in WWF. And I think his highlight, obviously, was that time he got knocked out by Regal in about 2 seconds.
So I gave this a quarter of a star.
Quarter star. So again, Dave Meltzer being very generous compared to you, but also not generous at all. 1 star for Dave Meltzer. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. I think it's probably one we can skip over. I only went 7 minutes 54. They're trying to get new stars over, which makes sense at this point. It's almost too little, too late for WCW at this point.
Yeah,
trying to get all these new stars over at once because it's difficult to do. I guess, now's a good time ever to ask, what did you think of the whole Millionaires Club versus the New Blood?
I don't believe it should have been called the Millionaires Club.
No, not when they were the baby faces. Seems a bit weird, doesn't it? To have
I like the concept of it. I really do like the concept of it. It wasn't very well executed.
Yeah. I think it's weird that the New Blood, the guys who you're trying to get over and are going to be the future of the company, all going well.
We'll get into this.
The bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a bit to say about in regards to this when we get onto the Hogan match.
Yeah, that would be a better time to talk about, actually, because that is the kind of the zenith, isn't it, of the Millionaires Club. But yeah, so Sean Stasiak wins there. They're trying to get him over as the new Mr. Perfect, but not a great mesh, really, I thought.
No.
Let's move on. Scott Steiner's getting pumped up. He's in the New Blood locker room, even though he's been around a long time at this point.
I didn't understand this.
Scott Steiner. I think the idea is that Scott Steiner just does what he wants, which who's going to argue with Scott Steiner?
And to be fair, Scott Steiner is a great heel, not a great babyface. So
maybe he'd not been world champion at this point, I think.
2000. Nah,
he held it a lot towards the end, didn't he, in the last year?
Yeah, but it was basically just flitting between him and Booker T for the last year.
Yeah, obviously as well on the last ever Nitro. So maybe he's one of the ones that fits in between, but I felt it was a bit weird. He got here on the notes that he made his professional wrestling debut in 1986, and he's part of the New Blood in May 2000. So 14 years vet, and he's in the New Blood.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Vince Russell told him to go to the ring. He does. He's the defending US champion. And he comes up against Hugh Morris, who is no longer Hugh Morris.
I know.
He is...
I scored this promo. I give it a star rating because it was just fantastic.
What would you give a star rating of?
3.5.
Well, let's say his name. Hugh G. Rection.
Yeah. Or Captain Rection for short.
Yeah. Yeah, he... which is apparently, according to this promo, is his real name. That's...
Oh, really?
That's what he says. He says, my real name, Hugh G. Rection. And I think Shivani just goes, that's not his real name at all.
Well, it says, doesn't it? He says, I never wanted to be called Hugh Morris.
Yeah.
This was made by Eric Bischoff, and it was a total brain fart.
Yeah. And he's obviously... So he's not in the New Blood or the Millionaires Club. He's in the Filthy Animals?
No, it's not.
It's Misfits in Action. Misfits in Action, yeah.
Because there's quite a few of them go to the Misfits, isn't they? There's Chavo, Booker T.
Yeah.
And the Misfits. And a couple of other people I can't really remember. But they're the three main ones, aren't they? And it's quite funny because we covered, obviously, the Invasion a few weeks ago. Hugh Morris had a match.
Back as Hugh Morris, yeah.
We all slated that match.
Yeah.
However... If we go into the match, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, so obviously, as I'm just going to steal this shot from Matt Madden, Captain Reaction working stiff for a lot of the match. A lot of boner jokes. That's what I took from this.
Yeah.
Which you've got someone called Huge Reaction, so I guess it is. But yeah, what do you think of Scott Steiner and Captain Reaction?
Right. Scott Steiner getting angry with fans. I love this. He does it all the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
And you can't tell if he's being serious or not. That's what I like about it. Like, you just don't know for sure.
I'm just going to flash forward 21 years, or probably 20 years to 2020. I sent you a video of Billy Gunn versus Scott Steiner at an indie show.
Yeah.
He throws the chair at the fans, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Because at this point, I was watching it thinking he's lost the plot. But now I'm watching this like 20 years earlier, and I'm like, he never had it. The plot is nowhere to be seen.
Then I put Whitlam's dad is the referee.
Whitlam's, yeah, Steve Whitlam. Shout out to Steve Whitlam. I'm not going there. But, yeah.
Steiner wins from Camel Clutch. Then the Misfits in action interfere and start attacking the security. And then Booker T attacks Steiner. Now, I do believe the original plan for this match was going to be Booker T versus Steiner.
Oh, that would make a lot more sense.
But he got injured.
Yeah.
So they had to take him out, and he didn't get cleared. Hence why he had such a small role within this segment. She was there.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I did find it weird because obviously we covered Bash at the Beach 2000 last year, which obviously was a couple of months after this.
Mm-hmm.
And Booker T at that point has been thrust into the world title picture. So it felt really off at this point. Like this is what 3 months beforehand.
Yeah,
it's just in a random mid card feud as like a bit part player. But yeah, if he was injured, that makes sense. Yeah. Was he GI Bro at this point, or was he still Booker T?
Still Booker T.
He's not lost the T yet.
He becomes. So I've started watching Great American Bash, which is the pay per view after this.
Yeah,
I'm about halfway through it, and by that point, he is GI Bro.
Yeah, so yeah, because he lost. I remember watching it on TV as a kid, where he lost the T to Big T.
Yeah,
I think it was Ahmed Johnson.
Yes,
and then he was just Booker for a bit, and then somehow he became GI Bro from that. I can't remember how that happened. Mm-hmm. But I remember as a school kid being very confused. What would you star rating did you give the match, Aaron?
3.
3. You and Meltzer almost on the same page. Meltzer 2.25. So it's Meltzer's favourite match of the night so far.
Oh. I say, I thought it was a good match. I thought, in comparison to the match we watched with Hugh Morris in the Invasion, miles better than. You
think he could almost go somewhere, can you? And then you remember that his name is Huge Erection, and he probably can't. Based on that, it's the. What was it they said? Any ring name needs to pass the WrestleMania test. Can you see it on the main event of WrestleMania? I just can't see Huge Erection ever main event in WrestleMania, unfortunately. For old Bill DeMott that got fired, isn't he, as a coach?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Meltzer gave it 2.25 stars, which is his favourite match of the night. And then we move on to Mike Awesome versus Canyon. I've not missed any promos in between, have I?
Don't think so. Chris Champagne Canyon, my add.
Yes, Chris Champagne Canyon. And he is he should be in the New Blood, but he's mates with DDP, so he's an enemy of the New Blood.
Yes.
DDP is in the Millionaires Club. He's talking to Mean Gene about his friendship. And obviously later on, they would go on to feud and he would basically steal DDP's identity. But at this point, he's still a babyface. And he's going up against Mike Awesome, who I don't think is the fat chick thriller just yet. I think he's just jumped from ECW. Sorry, they're trying to take it pretty seriously at this point. He looks like he could go all the way at this point, Mike Awesome. He looks like he could be a big star in the future. Yeah,
if this was WWF and he had been brought to WWF, he'd have gone straight to the top because he's got the look, hasn't he?
Yeah. Did he tag with Hugh Morris in the Invasion? Was them two? No, Lance Storm, wasn't it? Lance Storm.
So I've written, but I didn't write much about this match either. I just put best part of the match was when Kevin Nash interrupts. And then it's the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club.
Yeah.
Just like a ring invasion, isn't it? And Sting and Flair just clear house.
Yeah. Just it feels like it's building up to like a multi-man tag, doesn't it? Like it's almost like it should be like the prelude to like a War Games match, which I don't think we ever get.
No, we don't.
Between the Millionaires Club and
sadly. That's the answer to everything, isn't it? War Games.
War Games, yeah. We did get War Games 2000, which we covered in the archives, but I can't remember what was that. I can't. I watched the match. Still can't work out what happened in that match, but it definitely wasn't a normal War Games match. That's for sure. So yeah, obviously everyone runs in the New Blood, and the Millionaires, or Flair and Sting, basically, and just the match just kind of peters out.
It's not great. I gave this 1 star.
1 star. So again, Meltzer really loves it. This is now his new favorite match of the night. 3.25 stars. Oh, he normally hates non-finishes as well, which would imply that if this finished cleanly, it would have been
that's
like
4
stars or something. Yeah,
5-star classic.
Yeah, really, really strange. Ending to that one, it just kind of ends. There's a few ECW chants as we go along.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the best part was the run-in, shall we say, and Sting and Flair clearing house.
Yeah, getting everyone out there, wasn't it? Like
it put the Millionaires Club like steps above the New Blood.
Yeah, again, I don't know where they're going with this. Like, well, obviously, I know where they're going with it now. It didn't really work, but just the New Blood, surely the guys they want to replay, want to get over, are all the bad guys, and they're being beaten up by the old men. Like, surely there's better ways to kind of introduce a new generation, maybe, but yeah. So that's what happens there. It's a kind of a brawl. We go backstage. It's a video package about Vince Russo and Lex Luger. Russo claimed that he owns Miss Elizabeth, who's obviously, I think, I'm married to Lex Luger. I said unfortunately, he is unfortunate. Married to Lex Luger in real life. Obviously, we know how that tragic tale ends. We go to the New Blood's locker room, and Russo insists to Liz that to go change her dress because he owns her and doesn't like what she was wearing.
Yes, didn't even refer to it as like a tablecloth.
Yeah, not aged well. This. Obviously, this is leading to the total package. Lex Luger against Buff Bagwell.
Yes.
Yeah, Buff Bagwell. He was another one who should have gone somewhere. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote here, Luger's entrance is like a Mr. America competition. I'm sure Bobson would be very proud.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he'd love it. Not enough oil for Bobson.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it goes on for a while, doesn't it? It's really...
Yeah, Whitlam's dad's back as well.
Yeah, Whitlam's dad is the referee. Oh, Steve.
Did you notice they just had like a big flex off before the match started? It was just like, what was that about?
Yeah, I guess like he's buffed the stuff, isn't he? But I thought Buff came across with a lot of charisma. And Luger just looked old as fuck in this match.
I just felt like this is like a grudge match. Like, Luger's had his girlfriend or his wife kidnaps, essentially. You'd think he just wanted to get out there and just beat the shit out of Buff Bagwell. And he doesn't stand there flexing his muscles.
Yeah.
What is that about?
There's no stories. He's kind of like Luger's been like, it's been his shtick the entire time. Like, I've watched WrestleMania 9 where he's doing the same thing, which was what, 7 years earlier before this.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, and I just think like Luger looks really old in this.
Yeah, he does.
I know obviously there's issues outside the ring at this point. We won't go too much into too much detail, but God, he was fucked up. Basically, at this point is what I'm saying. He was fucked up. Yeah, what do you think of the match overall?
Not great. I just put quite a good match. 1 star again.
You Meltzer, bang on. Also 1 star. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think there was too much. I literally couldn't get past Luger looking as old as he did. That was kind of the end of him. Obviously, never made it across back up to WWF. Still got on a go now, isn't he? But he looks very.
He's very skinny,
he's
very
small.
skinny
now. Very small old man now.
He is making an appearance, I believe. Yeah. I can't remember what show it's at. But I follow the Godfather on Instagram. Actually.
Yeah, of course.
And he's making an appearance. He posted a picture of the poster, and Lex Luger is also making an appearance.
Yeah,
obviously, I highly doubt it's going to be an in-ring role.
Yeah, no, I would hope not, but you never know now. If we see Luger Flair by the end of this year, is anyone going to be surprised? Wrestling is crazy in 2021. Everyone's popping up everywhere.
I mean, how many matches will it take Ric Flair to bleed?
Yeah, I'm surprised he's in Triple H the other night, actually.
He loves it, doesn't he? Absolutely, he's mad for it.
He loves it good. I think like the bloodiest match feasible, like today, would be Flair versus Cody, because they both love to have a good bleed in a match. Yeah. Like that would be a bloodbath. But
just thinking of like the bloodiest matches in history, you've probably got Ric Flair, Vince McMahon, up there, Eddie JBL.
Eddie JBL, yeah,
that was a horrendous one because Eddie bladed himself too much, didn't he?
Yeah,
nearly.
Yeah, that was really bad. And then Bueller versus Bill Alfonso at ECW as well. One of the bloodiest of all times, randomly.
There's a few Hogan matches that could into that as well.
I tell you what, as well. Speaking of AEW, Cody versus Dustin at the first. Nothing.
Dustin,
absolutely coming in. I mean, I know he had red face paint on anyway, but I'm pretty sure he was only on half his face at the start of the match.
Yeah.
by the end, it was the full one. Wow, that was a lot of.
I really enjoyed that match. Just digressing. Probably one of my favourite matches from last year.
No, I did. I really thought it was 2019, wasn't it? Wow.
Where's the year? I mean, the year's just flown by. I keep thinking things that happened in 2019 happened in 2020.
Yeah, 2020 was just a write-off. Didn't happen. Yeah. Didn't happen. We were in the wrestling or not. We were all in the Thunderdome that year. Metaphorical Thunderdome. But yeah, how does that count? Well, this one ends. Luger wins with a torture rack, and that's a lot. Beats Buff Bagwell. And then Chuck Palumbo comes down. I think he's making his debut. And he's dressed as Lex Luger. And he puts him in a torture rack.
Yeah.
Chuck Palumbo in WCW. There you go.
Yeah, there's less said about that, the better.
Yeah, so yeah, Sean Stasiak's doing it, and now Chuck Palumbo, and everyone's just stealing gimmicks. That's what's happening. Yeah,
it's not a good way. It's not a good way to put over new talent.
It's not, because you're stuck with that. You know, I can't think of a fake one that's like ever worked really, other than Ric Flair himself, who took on the Nature Boy, didn't he, from Buddy Rogers. But
yeah,
I just
maybe apart from Charlie Haas when we went to watch
that was great. Yeah, those gimmick ones are great. When
Hulk Hogan,
I think Sandow was doing it for quite a bit as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and
the
different
Big
people
Show
as well. Yeah. Oh, the Big Shows was great. Shokishi.
Yeah.
And of course, in the Wrestling Around Wrestling Federation, Vince McMahon doing the same thing. Possibly. Vince Nakamura.
That's my favourite one.
Ving Rhames and the Big V. Yeah, Vince Nakamura's really took off recently. It's my favourite one to play with because it's got Nakamura's moveset. Where are we going with this? So we go backstage and Shane Douglas is there.
Oh, Jesus.
He hates Ric Flair in real life, which is kind of, I think well known at this point, all the way through from back when they were both in the WWF, I think.
Yeah.
The long-standing grudge, and it's going to happen. He has an interview with Mean Gene where he just says how much he hates Flair, and he's going to franchise his ass, which is the thing.
Yeah, I just wrote Shane Douglas, fuck off, you monotone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it.
Well, of course, I believe he wanted to fuck off, didn't he? But the WWF wasn't interested in him. He was trying to. He was wanting to be part of the Radicals, didn't he?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was in that backstage clique in WCW who all left at the same time, or tried to leave, and for whatever reason, I think because he'd worked there before and it hadn't gone well.
Right.
They weren't interested. He was Dean Douglas, first time around in WWF before his ECW run. But yeah, they weren't interested, so he had no choice but to stay when the rest of the Radicals left. So he's going up against Ric Flair, and I've said that we talked a lot about Ric Flair in this show and how maybe he looks too old and shouldn't be wrestling, and maybe he's at the end of his career or should be.
I've written a little bit about this.
What's going on here? Yeah.
So I've written that he's wrestling in a t-shirt in this period.
Yeah.
Right, but in 3 or 4 years' time, he's back in the WWE.
Yep.
And he's back in just pants.
He's back in his pants, isn't he? But yeah, because even at this point, he's just wearing street clothes, basically.
Do you think it's like it was a Vince decision? Oh yeah, get back in your pants, mate. People love it. People want to see your side of your body.
Possibly, yeah. I think I've heard on I can't remember if it was on Eric Bischoff's or Bruce Pritchard's podcast, but one of them that he didn't feel comfortable. He just didn't like his body this time. So it's his decision, because even on like the final Nitro, he wears his old school pants again, but
yeah.
He's wearing a Nitro t-shirt, isn't he? Yeah.
He's wearing shoes in this match.
Yeah, like he's just wearing street clothes. It's really odd, isn't it? Like you would think that there would be a better way for him to wear some wrestling gear.
Yeah.
You know, like I know that Regal's not a good example because Regal looks awful when Regal used to wear that vest. Just like it's wearing a swimming costume in it. But you would think there'd be a better way of.
I think so. Ric Flair goes across the WWE, and then Vince is like, "Oh yeah, mate, you need to get back in them pants."
You want to see those saggy tits?
Yeah. But then, fast forward 16 years, roughly, and Vince is telling Baron Corbin to put a t-shirt on or shirt on.
Because he doesn't like his belly button. Keith Lee as well, he's another one. There's a lot of people who wear shirts these days. Kevin Owens, he's always worn one, isn't
he? Yeah.
A lot of people are wrestling t-shirts these days. Strange, but yeah, Vince's mind fluctuates all the time, isn't it? I think always kind of changes. When obviously that was one of those times, but I think like Ric Flair is like, I think if like his match with Shawn Michaels, it just wouldn't have been the same if he was wearing t-shirt and jeans like he is here. Like,
Yeah.
this very much felt like an impromptu match. Like, I don't know if this was the norm for Flair in this era, but it didn't feel like a proper match because of what he was wearing.
Yeah.
He just felt like a random old bloke off the street, unfortunately, which is not what you want Ric Flair to feel like.
Yeah, for me, it didn't go on long enough before the interruption.
Yeah.
Obviously, fake Sting comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Russo." Starts wailing on Flair, only to be unmasked as David Flair.
David Flair, yeah. I thought it was going to be that gimmick, where the famous gif of Sting where he takes his mask off and it's just Sting underneath it. I was like, was this show? But no, it's Ric Flair's son, David Flair, the illustrious David Flair, who is attacking his own dad. And they had a bit of a feud, didn't they?
They did.
Hair versus hair match at the end, I believe.
Yeah, I watched a couple of matches years ago, and I can't really remember what pay-per-view they were on. But yeah, they have a big feud. So Flair and David Flair, should I say, and Russo start leaving, don't they? And then Flair says, "No, you won't." Oh no, am I getting mixed up here?
So Luger comes out. Does Luger come out? I can't remember what happened now.
No, Nash interrupts this. But Flair basically says to Russo, don't you won't be 5 minutes.
That's it.
You're only 5 minutes in the ring. But then David Flair and Russo both get back in the ring and start beating on Flair. Then Nash comes down to save the day.
Yeah. No, Luger comes out and also he batters up he beats up Buff Bagwell and throws Sting and Russo into the ring.
That's it.
Or Sting Russo, who's not Sting Russo, it's actually David Flair. So yeah. Lex Luger's there, even though he just got beat up by Triple Lumber.
Yeah.
Which pretend that didn't happen.
And then Daphne interrupts and low blows Nash.
Yeah. So as it says here, 16-time world champion, a 7-foot-tall monster, overpowered by a scrawny writer from New York, a small woman, David Flair. That's the retrofrowrestling.com. What was star rating? What would you give to Shane Douglas and Ric Flair?
I didn't actually write it for star rating for that. I think it's the only one that I haven't. Going off what I'm recalling now, I'm probably going to give it a half star.
Half a star. Dave Meltzer, I don't know what Dave Meltzer's doing today, but he's on 3 stars for this match. He's all over the place. He's all Dave. Oh. He's all over the place. I guess that was the big match. That was the highlight of Shane Douglas' career. Like, he'd hated Ric Flair for that long and all built up to that, and he got the win.
Yeah.
So well done, Shane Douglas. And then there was multiple shenanigans after the match.
Who the fuck's this?
It wasn't my fault.
Fuck's sake.
Just get out. I don't know. Can we ban him?
I've told you it wasn't my fault. I'm like Snitsky.
Also fired. So then we got another video package, which is the feud between Sting and Vampira, which of course is leading to one of Terry Peters' favourite matches of all time, the Graveyard match.
Well, the Graveyard match has already happened because it was in the promo.
Oh, of course. Yeah, which one am I thinking of? Yeah, I must have got it mixed up.
I'm just gonna say though.
No, I'm thinking of the Kiss Demon. Get off me. That's
Kiss Demon.
Yeah, that's a whole new episode in itself.
Sting v Vampiro feud was one of my favourites from WCW.
Yeah, I think I remember it because they were so similar looking.
Yeah.
Well, they both had face paint, which as a kid was enough for me to say they were similar looking.
Well, there was on the same side at one point, wasn't they? And Sting was kind of like the mentor, a bit like what he's doing with Darby Allin now.
Yeah. Again, he just loves lads in face paint. There's old Sting. The old Stinger.
I think it's one of my favourite matches of the night.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember a lot that happened from it, to be honest. But yeah, they both get a lead pipe out, so it's a no DQ match, obviously.
Yeah. Well, Vampiro tries to interrupt Sting's entrance.
Yep.
And then Sting just takes him out with the baseball bat as he runs up the ramp.
Yeah. So, because they did mention a few times, didn't they, that they were kind of relaxing the rules in the new WCW. It was kind of a thing, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't just kind of. My report here from Metro Pro Wrestling says it's an issue, but I think they did mention it before and that they were going to do.
I disagree with that. I don't think it's an issue. I mean, just going to rest around the week of Wednesday wrestling. We don't have any rules.
That's it. False count anywhere every match. Like I don't. When WWE do Extreme Rules, and I normally copy. What rest around rules is just a normal pay per view, isn't it? So I have to figure out something then. Maybe that's the one night of the year we have rules. We'll figure it out.
But yes, Sting wins this match after a Stinger splash and then a Scorpion Death drop.
Yep. It doesn't go too long, I don't think. Let's have a look. It goes 6 minutes 49, so it's actually at this point it's the shortest match of the night.
I felt it was just right though for this match.
Yeah, it didn't need to be too long.
I think that's why I've given it 3.5. I think it's well deserved.
Meltzer only gives it 2.5.
I disagree with
but you know what Meltzer's like? It needs to go like a certain length, I believe, for it to go somewhere.
But this it didn't end the rivalry. It was just kind of in the middle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I believe it carried on after this.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure by the time Bash of the Beach comes around, another face-painted wrestler in the Kiss Demon is also in the mix. I'm pretty certain that the Kiss Demon pops up at some point if he's not done so already. Or is it just a demon at that point because they lost the rights with Kiss? Either way, the demon.
Yeah, it was just a demon.
Also ends up there. But yeah, Sting wins it in 6 minutes 49. And then we go backstage to the voice of TNA, Mike Tenay, who's the interviewer at Raw, which again, you've got Mike Madden on commentary. You've got Mike Tenay backstage. Make it make sense, Vince Russo.
I was thinking all the way through. I'd take Madden out and put Tenay in.
Yeah, we had a cruiserweight match with no Mike Tenay. What the hell? That's not the WCW I know.
Cruiserweight expert, Mike Tenay.
Yeah, I don't think Mike Tenay is a very good play-by-play, but I think he's a good summarizer sometimes.
Yeah. And I suppose you've got Shivani in there. That's the...
Yeah. But yeah, we had him before, haven't we? Like Mike Tenay, but he's backstage. He's interviewing DDP and David Arquette, but basically he's just holding the microphone while DDP tells David Arquette to stay out of the way. Basically, do what we tell you to do and everything would work out. These are the baby faces here. It's going to a triple threat, and they're planning on teaming up. A bit heelish for me. And then we go to another interview with Kidman, who's with Tori Wilson, Eric Bischoff, and Kimberly Page, former wife of DDP. Kidman cuts a promo and claims that Bischoff is a special referee. There's no way he could lose to Hogan tonight.
There's won 3-4 times prior to
Yeah,
this.
he's beaten like 3 or 4 times already, hasn't he? Which is, as they say, Hogan never does jobs. There you go. He's done several to Kidman. And in between those two promos, we got Kevin Nash wandering backstage. He's looking for Vince Russo. And then, let's move on to Billy Kidman versus Hogan. And I guess with special guest referee Eric Bischoff. Yeah. And I guess this is really we kind of touched on the New Blood and the Millionaires Club earlier.
Yeah. I think this is where we're going to get into it.
This is where we're going to get into it a bit more, aren't we? And it's just a strange old storyline.
Hogan obviously comes down in his "Fuck You, New Blood" jacket. So it's quite strange seeing him in.
Yeah, because I'd seen some screenshots of this, just like this old balding guy in FUMB, and I assumed it was Horace.
Yeah. Well, Bischoff ejects Horace straight away. Yeah. Before the match even started. Gets down and like, get out.
That's where, really, Randy should have come in to circuit all the Hogans there. But
I wrote here, Kidman is a terrible heel. I think we spoke about this on the Invasion as well.
Yeah. There's some people who are just meant to be baby faces.
Yeah.
Kidman is by far one of them. And I think that's, again, why to me, the New Blood Millionaires Club didn't make a lot of sense. Because these new exciting wrestlers like Kidman, you want to cheer him, don't you? I always find it's so difficult for heels to have interesting movesets. I think AJ Styles always suffers with this now. He's got such a good moveset. Seth Rollins is another one. They've got such an interesting moveset that you just kind of pop for the big moves that they're making. Yeah. So it's very, against Hogan, who's just going to do his leg drop and his hulking up and that. But
mix it up a little bit in this match though.
Yeah. It's a new Hogan, isn't it? I always forget this era of Hogan happens. You always think that you're just NWO Hogan from 96 up until 2002. But
so there's a few occasions where Bischoff refuses to count.
Yep.
And then Hogan just decides to get a load of tables out.
He's hardcore Hogan. Awesome. So yeah, Hogan's really trying to reinvent himself here, isn't he? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
He's absolutely. It almost reminds me of the time, not to be cruel, but the time where he was kind of getting booed before he started wearing black before the NWO. That time where the greatest travesty of all time happened. He got his mustache shaved off, and he was trying to be like an edgier Hogan. I think we're going for this again now, like almost a bit Stone Cold-esque at times. Hogan, he's got his black vest on. He's getting the tables out. Getting a lot of tables out. He looks like he's setting up for like a large banquet.
We breaks one of the tables is broken before he even sets it up.
Yeah, Hogan.
So he just lays it against the ropes.
Yeah.
And then wrote, Hogan loves being busted open.
Yeah, he's another one who loves it in this era, getting busted open.
Bischoff gets powerbombed through the table.
Yep, so he's not Bischoff through, other than he puts him through a table.
I'm not sure who it was it was either Madden or Hudson. Kept referring throughout the match about Hogan, and they kept calling him Terry Bollea.
Yeah. Do you think they were just trying to do you think they were just trying to add a bit of realism into it? Because Russo was very much against for some reason, which I don't think it works to this point, but Russo always wanted to peek behind the curtain, didn't he? Like there was always a lot of behind the scenes references and stuff. Like, do you think this is just Russo trying to add a bit more realism to it? Like, oh yeah, it's just Terry. It's who the fuck's called Terry?
No idea.
Yeah, fucking Terry.
Maybe. I don't think it works.
Yeah, no, I don't think it works. It's Hogan, and he's just going to be Hogan. Like, even if you're kind of going back to more realistic roots, he's Hulk Hogan, and he's Hulk Hogan inside and outside the ring now. Terry Bollea has been and gone. He's Hogan, isn't he?
I mean, I know we're spoken a little bit about Hogan reinventing himself. Have you seen any of his matches in Japan?
I've never seen him now. I've heard the completely different alley, and he was a big star in New Japan.
Very technical.
Yeah,
in comparison. Obviously, we're just used to big boot, leg drop.
Yeah.
But he's busting out some technical moves out in Japan.
Yeah, I think he's always said he can wrestle. It just never needed to.
It's true though, isn't it?
The moves were enough. Because on the Ric Flair documentary that I told you about, I watched on 30 for 30, he says Ric Flair's the greatest of all time. I just went into the few punch and leg drop, called it a night.
Yeah.
Ric Flair worked.
Do you think that Hogan would have had the longevity if he'd have carried on with the technical moves? And I mean in regards to health, not in...
I don't know, because I think what's fucked him the most is his leg drop, isn't it? So if he had done different... Because that's what busted his hips, wasn't it? Because he'd just done that so many times. So maybe it would, yeah, because if you think when The Undertaker started, he just did the same moves. And it kind of gave him he had a longer career because of that. But by the end of his career, he was having normal wrestling matches. He wasn't a dead man in his gimmick anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe Hogan should have evolved a bit more, but before this, really.
Mm-hmm.
The time to do it probably would have been when he joined the NWO. I would have, because he carried on doing his Hulk shtick, didn't he? Even though he was in the NWO and he's a bad guy. I think at that point you change everything. He should have changed his he should have changed his finishes to a submission move or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of occasions, isn't there, where he's in the NWO and he hulks up.
Yeah,
and I think I don't know if it was intentional or if he was just forgetting that he's now a heel.
Yeah, I think he just got so used to singing off the same hymn sheet that he just couldn't do anything else at that point.
Yeah.
But now he's trying now. And at this point, it's he's teaching old dog new tricks. I think, isn't there really? He was not around on the wall. Yeah, it was a good match. And it was a kind of an interesting feud, really. And it was obviously Hogan wins.
You see, the big guy versus the small guy. Obviously, Hogan wins this match after Horace comes back out and uses Bischoff's hand to...
See, I really liked that because normally in these ones, you can kind of tell when it's the odds are stacked in the heel's favour that the babyface is going to win somehow, but normally it's the ref gets knocked out, just a new referee turns up.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they actually just kind of used Bischoff's hand against him to call the match. I thought it was a really inventive finish actually compared to what we normally see in those types of matches. So
yes, so I mean, in regards to the Millionaires Club, this is where it doesn't work.
Yeah,
because Hogan is a face here, and he's probably one of the best faces of all time. But Kidman is not a heel, and it doesn't work for the New Blood.
Yeah, no, that's it, isn't it, as well? And again, if WCW was to stay in business, in 5 years' time, who are you going to have on your roster? Kidman, not Hogan. So, you need to get the crowd invested in Kidman, surely.
I can understand why they've done it. Obviously, Kidman's won 3-4 times in a row.
Yeah.
So they wanted to obviously put Hogan back over.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that part's fine. I think why we've done, though, is just kind of done the complete opposite and had Hogan be a heel. Kidman the face. And all the way through the Millionaires Club as well.
Yeah.
Just do that, like to vanquish the old guys who have took this company down. Like,
yeah, the guys who have ruined this company and brought it to what it is.
There you go. And that's if Russo wants to do a wake feud. He's got one right there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The politics has kind of messed them about and ruined the company. But yeah, so it was like, what time is we? How long do we go for this match? A bit longer, 13 minutes 31. So this is the longest match on the card.
I give 3.5 stars for this.
3.5 stars, more generous than Meltzer. He gives it 2.5, but obviously he infamously does not like Hogan. So 2.5 from Meltzer at this point is probably about 3.5.
Yeah. But it's just interesting. Like, we'll see. Meltzer don't like Hogan. Be interesting to see you to go back and do some like NWO era Hogan, where we had some classic matches. Yeah. And see to compare.
Yeah, it's just one of those things like, Hogan's never had to be a worker, has he? And I think he's trying in this match.
You think like
it's a bit different, but you're not going to get a 5-star classic out of Hogan. He doesn't need to do one. It's Hulk Hogan.
No, I don't. Yeah, but you think of the big three for me, feuds in WCW for Hogan whilst he was in the NWO. Sting.
Yeah.
Piper. And Warrior.
Yeah.
And especially within the Sting and Warrior feuds, he played the coward. Mm-hmm. The coward heel, and I thought he did that really well. Yeah,
he did. I mean, I will say that on saying that the Hogan Warrior match is one of the worst of all time.
It is. It is.
It's just like anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But yeah, I thought he had such good range, but at this point he just feels a bit lost, Hogan. He doesn't know what he is. Like he's kind of trying to be the cool NWO Hogan.
He didn't want to be here at this point, did he?
No, I don't think so. And I think you can tell. And he wasn't here much longer, was he?
No.
It seemed like a very unhappy place to work.
You can see it when he's coming down to the ring. Obviously, he's in his face. He's a face. He doesn't really do much of the Hogan stuff.
No, because he's not a badass, is he? That's never been Hulk Hogan. He's been a superhero type, and he's been the coward heel, as you say.
Yeah.
But you can't have... I just think he just looks ridiculous in what he's wearing. Like, his bandana's off straight away. It looks like an old man.
He's still wearing his Hulkamania belt as well.
Yeah, he's all over the place at the moment. I think
he takes it off to whip Kidman with, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think we just got to pretend this era of Hogan just didn't happen. Really, for the most part. He just went straight to NWO Hogan, straight into his final run, straight into Mr. America.
Maybe he'll make a comeback.
Nothing else.
If Ric Flair can't come back, maybe Hogan can.
No, don't say that. Hopefully not. 15 years has gone now since he's had his last WWE match. But I have heard him say that he doesn't like the fact that his last match is in TNA. Which
AEW inbound.
No, he's banned him, hasn't he? Tony Khan banned Hulk Hogan right at the beginning.
Didn't see that.
For being a racist. Yeah. So I think Hogan is just destined to just be guest host on Saudi Arabian shows going forward because obviously he got booed in his hometown at WrestleMania this year. So there's no hope from now. I think he'll be on the Saudi Arabia show 21st of October this year for sure. I assume it's Crown Jewel.
Yeah, he'll be the host or something.
Yeah, he'll do some captain team like he did last time against, I don't know.
He'll come out as Mr. America.
Yeah. Imagine in Saudi Arabia. Would that go down well? I don't know.
Well, they're having women's matches this year at Saudi Arabia.
That's true. They're having the Queen of the Ring final, aren't they? The first ever Queen of the Ring final in Saudi Arabia.
Be interesting to see how that goes down.
Yeah.
It didn't go down well last time, did it?
No, and I think the Saudi prince banned it, didn't they? So I'll tell you what, those Saudi Arabia shows, just to go off a tangent before I get to the main event, they're always a bit... if you take out, you really, really need to try hard to take out the gross human rights abuses from the Saudi government. But if you do take out they're mental, those shows. They're absolutely just batshit mental.
Yeah.
I know what's great about them is they're a good time for us. They kick off at 5:00. We can watch them live. But God, those shows are weird.
They're not great.
I think in some ways they are, but in some ways they're not. If they're in America, they're terrible shows. But I just think there's something about them being in like a foreign country. If they were in like a random country that's like not kind of, you know, committing gross human rights. I said they were like in Ghana. I don't know. Like random country.
I mean,
they'd be great. They'd be great fun, I think.
But the crowd just don't seem to get behind it, do they?
No, because they're all just Saudi royal family, aren't they? And they don't really watch the show, which is.
I mean, imagine if they was to do like the Saudi shows over in the UK.
Yeah, there was that rumor that time, wasn't it? That Crown Jewel was going to go to the UK, and it would have been amazing. It would have been amazing.
You think like the crowd would have been wild. I mean,
we'd be there.
Every show that we've been to, or I've been to, you've been to, you always get good feedback from the crowd.
A good UK crowd, and I think we've like other countries like Japan have had big W network shows. Australia have like, where's ours? I don't even want a SummerSlam anymore. I would quite happily have Super Showdown at Wembley Stadium.
Bring back Insurrection.
Insurrection, yes, or Rebellion, or One Night Only. Get Davey Boy Smith Jr.'s back in the company now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Get him fighting Natalia and have an old school, you know, repeat of the Heart Foundation matches. Speaking of stuff I hope doesn't come back, Jeff Jarrett now. We got to the video package, which brings up to speed on how David Arquette has become the World Heavyweight Champion. He tries to relinquish the title. Russo and Jarrett aren't having it. He's in the match.
Courtney Cox makes a very, very quick appearance in the promo. Just shouts at Arquette, "You're not a wrestler."
Yep. And she gets paid £1 million, you know, for that. Well, no, not for this, I'm sure. Jeff Jarrett comes out. He's the chosen one. Slap nuts. That's his promo with me and Gene backstage, and we'll go to it. The triple cage match. What do you think of the triple cage? First off the bat, I bloody love it.
Bring it back.
I'm obsessed with it. Like, it's so ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah,
but it's great. So we've got ladders in the bottom floor, right? And then we've got a hardcore cage,
guitar room,
and then a guitar cage at the top, guitar room. Which I guess Jeff Jarrett's in the match, so that makes sense. I think by the time the triple cage comes back in the autumn, the guitars are gone, but everything else remains the same. And basically, it's like a ladder match and a cage match all in one. You got to climb to the top of the pyramid, and you got to retrieve the belt to win the match.
So I wrote down Wrestling Federation personality Michael Buffer.
Yeah, he's there always. He must he got used to getting to like prestigious matches. Do you think like as a non-wrestling fan, he just looks and goes, "What the fuck is happening here?" Like, 1 minute he's like, you know, a few years ago he's introducing Sting and Hulk Hogan, like the biggest wrestling match on the planet at that point. Like, what is this? 2.5 years there, he's introduced David Arquette in the main event. Like, something's gone wrong here.
Yeah, he was Hulk Hogan's personal ring announcer, wasn't he?
Yeah,
for quite a while.
Yeah, he must. But I think as Ross says, because Ross is a boxing fan, he says, "You pay Michael Buffer, he will turn up and ring announce anyway."
Yeah,
if you give him the right amount of money.
I was watching Hell's Kitchen the other day, and his half brother or step brother.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, he makes an appearance, and I was sat watching it thinking, "Yeah, it's not Michael."
Yeah, that's the Buffer family have got a lock on ring announcing, haven't they? Yeah. Michael Buffer's still doing the boxing, the main events, and Bruce Buffer's obviously been doing the UFC since like the first show, I think.
Maybe I'm just biased because I grew up with WCW and I grew up with Michael Buffer, but his ring announcing voice is just better.
Oh, it adds such gravitas to it. Like, even though this is like David Arquette in a frankly ridiculous match, it sounds like a proper one. Like, they only used it in there because he was on HBO or another Turner channel anyway, so they're like, we're paying this guy. Why not use it for this?
I mean, it's not the most ridiculous thing because Arquette comes out in what I've written, Charity Shop Elvis.
Oh, it's really what a strange gimmick this is. It's like Jeff Jarrett's old one, isn't it? But like, he's got a cape, and I've never seen Ready to Rumble. Is this what he wears in that?
I don't recall it being so. I started watching it again the other day, just to try and get a bit more background behind the whole thing.
I believe that's where the triple cage comes from, right?
It is.
Yeah, or the Tower of Doom.
But then, like in the film, DDP is the heel.
Is DDP in I've never seen Ready to Rumble. I need to see Ready to Rumble, don't I?
I think we might need to do a special show on this.
Yeah, we need to do we've never done a wrestling movie before.
There's loads of people in it. Started watching it the other day. DDP's in it. What else is in it?
I guess it's
is Jeff Jarrett in it? Can't remember.
I'm going to guess so because it's a WCW. They paid for it, didn't they? Or they were kind of. Let's see who's in it. Bill Goldberg's in it, apparently. Wrestling personalities. Goldberg, wow, there's a lot. Goldberg, DDP, Sting, Randy Savage, Bam Bam Bigelow, Sid Vicious, Juventud, Kurt Hennig, Disco Inferno, Billy Kidman, Conan, Rey Mysterio, Perry Saturn, Prince Akir, Van Hammer, Gorgeous George, the Nitro Girls. John Cena also in it, apparently.
Ah.
As an uncredited. I don't know what is John Cena doing Ready to Rumble. I'm assuming
he was like an extra.
Must be an extra, yeah. Unless I got that off Wikipedia, so you never know. That could be fake. No, he actually is in it. There's a 14-second clip on YouTube if you want to Google it.
Okay.
Of John Cena in Ready to Rumble. I guess it's like the wrestler, isn't it? Where they turn out to be like with Cesaro in the back of all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know where a wrestling extra is gonna go, do you?
So I mean, I didn't write a great deal about this match, mainly because I was just so busy enjoying it.
Yeah, it was just fun, wasn't it? Like it was stupid, but it was fun.
Yeah. Obviously, main parts of the match, there was just chaos in the guitar room.
Yep.
Absolute chaos. Ending Arquette screws DDP.
Yeah, what a strange... That feels like a swerve for swerve's sake, bro. Like, it just feels odd, doesn't it? Like, so the plan is that, like, because David Arquette could have won the championship for himself quite easily.
Yeah.
There's a point where they're both, like, hanging off the cage, and so DDP and Jarrett are trying to fight and trying to get it to the top. David Arquette just nips up, which you think, yeah, that's a real issue in a triple threat match of this nature.
Yeah.
He had about 5 minutes where he could have took the belt out. I guess the gimmick was that he didn't want the belt.
So I'm going to give a bit of background here because I told you the other day that I'd watched the Arquette documentary.
Yes, of course, yeah.
It's DDP. It's really, really probably one of the best documentaries I've seen in quite a while, actually. It goes into it, obviously. The year before it was released, he had a heart attack. And then he came out and said, look, I'm not getting any film roles. I haven't had any film roles in years. I think I want to get back into wrestling.
Yeah.
To cut a long story short, he goes all over, like, training with different people. He ends up going and meeting up with DDP in Mexico. Does some DDP yoga because obviously any chance for DDP to plug his yoga nowadays.
Look, I've met the guy. That is literally all he does. I made the mistake of referring it to your yoga, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've done a bit of your yoga." Like, what? Like your yoga? And he points to his t-shirt, and I go, "Oh, the DDP yoga." And he goes, "There you go," and then listed diamond up. Great stuff. He also held up the line for that autograph signing, just so he could do some yoga poses and plug his. So me and Tom are waiting in line. Well, like, bloody hell, what's taking so long? We look across. The DDP stood on the table with his foot above his head.
He's probably in the best shape of his life.
Yeah,
and he's in his 60s.
He's in good shape, isn't he? Flirting around. He's had a match in AEW, hasn't he?
He has. So anyway, back to it. Yeah. DDP basically cuts to DDP, and DDP cuts a bit of an interview. And he says that Arquette never wanted to win the WCW Championship. He was very open with the fact that no, this is not a good idea. Mm-hmm. But also at the beginning of the show, I'm just kind of backtracking now. Eric Bischoff in the opening part says it was Vince Russo's idea, which I can kind of see.
Yeah.
And even Eric was like, it wasn't a good idea.
It was not. No.
But yeah, so everyone gives Arquette an hard time. I really like the documentary because it kind of showed him from having no technical ability to suddenly this very good wrestler.
Yeah, he had the infamous match with Nick Gage, didn't he?
That was awful.
Yeah,
it showed within the documentary. It probably shows like 5 minutes of the match, and it was horrendous.
Did Nick Gage shoot on him? Do you think?
Yes.
Try and make a point, gets a bit.
Yeah,
No, that's
he
right.
did.
Yeah.
100%. He went way too hard on him.
Yeah.
He's busted open, then he starts smashing light bulbs over him, and
Yeah.
then Arquette leaves, starts walking up the ramp, like kind of stops, thinks about it, and then returns to the ring where he just gets beaten on again.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a shoot. I think it was him getting up there thinking, no, I've got to see this through.
Yeah. Got to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I thought it was quite a nice ending to the show. It comes up and it says, like, in 2019, that David Arquette's ranked in the top 500 wrestlers
Oh, really?
in the world.
In PWA, in 500.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
And then it cuts to, I can't remember what match it was. He has a match with someone. Can't remember who. But then Jungle Boy comes to the ring.
Oh, of course, who's obviously the son of Luke Perry.
Yeah, because David Arquette and Luke Perry were best friends.
Yeah.
And after the match with Nick Gage, it was Luke Perry that drives Arquette to the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he gets into the ring and he has like a bit of an emotional speech and he's saying like, oh, yeah, like Luke Perry, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, like, turns to Jungle Boy and he's like, your dad would be so proud of you. You're going to be huge. And I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's going to be huge.
I just want to be in a crowd singing along to Jungle Boy's theme tune because I love it so much.
I just cannot wait for you to come and do a show because I cannot wait. Likewise, but with Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
I can't wait to be in the crowd singing Judas.
Yeah, I hope that. I hope that works for him on Wednesday or tonight's show where he's got no music, has he, against MJF? And the plan is for the crowd to sing it. So hopefully it works. Yeah, hopefully everyone's organised at that. But
it's been all over Twitter, hasn't it?
I love a good sing along with a theme tune. Like when Vince McMahon comes out and you sing along to his theme tune, it's just it's amazing.
You think that there's not that many theme tunes that people sing along to?
No, it's become like more common recently. But I remember when we saw Vince and them, it stopped and everyone just carried on singing like no chance, and he was even like, "What the fuck are you doing, guys?" Like, but it was great. And Nakamura's have been through it. So I love it.
Yeah. And I mean, this is what I mean. I know I'm really digressing now.
That's what we do on Wrestling Around.
But the other week where we did the Mount Rushmore, and I was saying that Chris Jericho is probably one of the greatest of all time. Yeah, he's so over.
Mm-hmm.
He's so over now.
Yeah, he is, and I'm surprised at the amount of people who stay over in AEW actually. Because Jericho was actually to fair, the end of his WWE when he was like on top again. But I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, where I think he was in the Rumble for an hour, and everyone was like, "Oh, God, get out, Jericho, you old man," and stuff, and like to kind of like come back from that again.
I mean, he had the great run in WWE with the list.
Yeah, the Kevin Owens thing was just fantastic. Yeah,
that was probably one of the like we said, that should have been the main event.
Yeah,
for that pay per view. It should have been. It shouldn't have been Goldberg.
It should have been the world. Goldberg and Brock did not need the title. That match. The Goldberg and Brock match was great, but it did not need the title.
No,
you don't need to sell Brock Lesnar and Goldberg on a title.
No. Whereas that match could have really pushed Kevin Owens to a whole new level.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets there because he's just not quite there yet, is he? Again,
no. And I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Kevin Owens. Yeah.
But yeah, Jericho is just so over with today's audience. I mean, he's probably more over now than he has been in his whole career. Yeah,
I thought the crowd might. I thought the crowd might have soured on. There's a few people in AEW I think the crowd might have soured on. Cody is starting to out there, I think, before he retired.
Yeah.
But I'm not a Cody fan. We'll just make that clear right now. But
I'll say it now. I know for a fact that Ross cannot wait for the what's it called, On the Roads or
I can't wait. It's some sort of roads pun, isn't it?
Yeah, for those listeners who don't know what we're talking about. It's the new reality show with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, do you know what we should, as a rib on Ross because he's not here today, we should do like an episode where we just review that when it comes out.
There's one reason that I would watch it.
Yeah,
I'm a big Brandy Rhodes
fan. Yeah,
big Brandy fan.
Yeah, I saw her in a match against Prince Amin in WCW once. Well, the strangest match I've ever seen. She won with a splash off the top rope using a magic carpet. Genuinely, it's great.
She can't really wrestle, but
No.
Like many of today's female wrestlers, do they need to wrestle?
No.
We've seen it. Like, I'm digressing even more now. But have you seen like all the shit that Becky Lynch has been receiving?
What? No.
Yeah.
No. Get out. I'm not having this. Who's having a go at Becky Lynch? Not on my watch.
So people are basically saying that they're not interested in her coming back to WWE.
Nonsense.
She can't wrestle.
Nonsense. Not having it.
There's no place in her for in WWE anymore. She doesn't bring any new fans to WWE. I disagree with it all.
She is the only breakthrough women's star. Like, as good as Charlotte is in the ring, and she is good.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch headline WrestleMania. Who else has done that? Like, even a year before that, it seemed impossible for a woman to headline. And yeah, obviously, Ronda Rousey had a big factor to play in that as well.
Yeah.
But Becky Lynch is responsible for, I think, the best women's match I've ever seen. Probably one of my favourite matches is the last woman stand she had against Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. And she got over, like, completely on herself. Like, she took it to a whole new level. And then, yeah, she headlined WrestleMania. So
yeah,
I won't have this slander. I can't wait till she's back, whenever that is.
Yeah, people are saying that the man gimmick's at its time now. I don't think it has.
Not when she's been away for like a year and a half now. She's been away.
Yeah. I mean, people have been giving Ronda Rousey. I think it's Ronda Rousey put a 2 pence in about the Bray Wyatt relationship.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she does not like
she received an absolute horde of abuse.
Yeah, because I thought she had a point in some ways. Like,
with what she posted, I have nothing within that tweet to disagree with.
Yeah, because it's like, I know that the thing with Ronda is that everyone thinks when the crowd turned on her against Charlotte, I think, she really took it personally, didn't she? Like, she was like, I'm not having this. Like, I'm the biggest. Like, she genuinely, like, as Hulk Hogan would say, she worked herself into a shoot with her. But I don't think she's going to come back. I don't think
I'd like it to.
I think Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch is a WrestleMania main event waiting to happen. Like, if next year, if you get, even the year after, if you want to give them more time, imagine a 2-night WrestleMania with Rock Roman one night, Becky Lynch and Ronda in LA, which is starting a year, not next year, it's a year after. That could be one of the biggest pay-per-views of all time.
Like, people was all over it, want to see Ronda Rousey can't wrestle. Does she need to wrestle? Yeah. No, she's from the UFC.
Yeah, and also she can her first match. I've never known a debut match like it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, well, people were all saying that she lost all her credibility when she lost against Holly Holmes. Well, did she? Because she's now moving to WWE.
Look how many times Brock Lesnar's been dicked in the UFC. Like, no one cares. Look at CM Punk.
Yeah,
like, one of the worst UFC careers of all time, but no one gives two shits in 2 nights' time when he turns up.
And it's funny because you go back to it's just wrestling fans are the worst, and I don't class myself as a hardcore wrestling fan by any means. I am probably one of the most casual wrestling fans in existence. But it's all about drawing the money. Like, people are giving shit to Goldberg. Yeah. Like, it draws money.
Yeah, people want to see him, don't they? The ratings don't lie. You get more people. Same with Brock as well, and I love Brock. Yeah.
And people obviously complaining where they with Lesnar's reign, saying, "Oh yeah, you defended it." You know how many count on your hand how many times?
Yeah, it's like 10 times, wasn't it?
Does it matter?
No,
it's probably got more credibility now than it does then than it does now.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, okay, yeah, he had a few he squashed Ricochet, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of ways he squashed, but again, a 1-minute loss to Brock Lesnar on its own isn't damaging. What damaged Ricochet more was the fact that he just wasn't on TV after that. If he came back the next week and beat Sheamus or whatever, no one would have cared. Yeah. But he's had some fantastic matches in that reign. AJ Styles, great match. Daniel Bryan, great match. Finn Balor, great match. He's had more great matches.
Even the Goldberg match was good.
Oh, it was glorious. Short. It was glorious. It was 5 minutes of just high octane action. I love that match. It's one of my favourite matches. Like,
Don't you think that sometimes that's all that there needs to be?
Yeah, you're not going to get. It's like, as Bischoff says to quote him again, it's wrestling's a buffet. You have your technical matches, but you don't want. Who wants Goldberg in a technical match?
And it doesn't need to be a 5-star match.
Yeah, and as we've seen,
Goldberg's 54 years old. Don't need a 5-star match for him.
And like that thing of like that match where he beat Lesnar in 90 seconds, the first one, that got talked about more than any other you know, if that had gone half an hour, it'd have been a really shit match. But it went a minute, and it was just an exciting minute, and you genuinely like, holy shit, what has just happened there?
And
like,
if you think about it, right,
it doesn't happen often, does it?
Going back to Crown Jewel, was it last year, the year before, where it was Undertaker and Kane, Shawn Michaels, Triple H? If that match had been cut in half, could have been very, very, very good.
Yeah,
it just went too long, and by the end of it, Undertaker was fucked. Shawn Michaels was fucked. The two that really weren't that knackered with Triple H and Kane because they've been in the ring a bit more.
Yeah, Triple H is still in good shape, isn't he? But yeah, that went on too long. And again, the heat as well, the old men in the humidity of Saudi Arabia. Like, obviously, Goldberg and Undertaker is one of the worst matches of all time. Can't get around that. But Goldberg did get concussed on the way to the ring. Yes, he did. He headbutted a door. So can't hold that against him. It just should have been, the referee should have been like, come on, let's take it home. Didn't need to go 8 minutes. It went 8 minutes, which felt so long, didn't it?
Should have gone 2.
Yeah,
2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's all it needs to be done.
It could have just been a squash match, like the Goldberg-Kevin Owens match.
Yeah.
One spear, done.
Yeah, I usually if Undertaker's going to win, have him kick out the spear and then tombstone, and that's the end. That's your lot. Yeah. Like, it doesn't need... Yeah, so that's what the Cena match was, wasn't it? With
I mean, we've already seen Goldberg hit his head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know that he's suffering from that.
Yeah, and then he went into the post, didn't he? Which made it even worse. Like, that was not a good match. But I think I'd like to see Goldberg now. Assuming he loses to Lashley on Sunday, and we're just going wildly off piece now. Come back and just like that match against he had against Dolph Ziggler, where he just killed him in like 2 minutes, and then went back to the killed him again.
Killed him this time.
Yeah, that'd be good for me. Just lose time match, Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler, and just get wiped out completely. But yeah, I'd just love to see Goldberg just come back and do that.
Yeah,
just against some random jobber who's going to bump around for him a lot. Like, it doesn't need to be anything massive.
Maybe the way the WWE could go is just a new Goldberg streak.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, because look how hot Ryback got. Like, Ryback's not exactly a great wrestler, and he was the hottest thing on the planet for a bit. And they never pulled the trigger. Same with Braun, never pulled the trigger when they should have done.
I mean, literally, all they need to do with Goldberg is right. Do you want to work one Raw show a week? A month, sorry.
Yeah, just can't kill.
Come back, 1 minute squash match, kill someone,
just kill jobbers, 3 jobbers at once. Just it's fine. That's all I want. There's got to be some big lad in developmental who who do that with now. Just start a streak out of nowhere, because that's all Goldberg was, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
That's all Ryback was. Just some big meaty lad. There's got to be someone down there.
I do think the ratings would go up, because if I know social media ruins everything nowadays. They've kept it quiet. Oh yeah, Goldberg's going to appear on tonight's Raw. Don't tell anyone. Just come. You'd have so many people tuning into Raw just to see if he turns up. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that's what he did, didn't he? Apparently, when he came back this time, they leaked it on purpose. Sean Ross was saying.
It's just the problem with social media. Don't leak stuff.
Yeah.
It keeps people on the toes.
Yeah. I like a good surprise.
This is why wrestling was so good when we were kids.
Because we didn't know what was... I think the best thing was we thought we knew what was going on, but we didn't have a bloody clue what was going on. That was what...
Yeah.
That was what made it so fun. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this will definitely happen this way, because I had no idea. I was convinced WCW were going to beat WWF at the end.
Yeah.
Because of the trademark dispute. I was like, well, I've seen it on the news that they're not allowed to be called WWF anymore. So they're clearly going to lose to WCW.
I was exactly the same.
But yeah. And then also when Foley's retirement match, I was like, well, he isn't going to retire, is he? So obviously Foley's going to win that. And then
he did.
Obviously he did, and the smart money would have been on. Like, well, looking it back, it was obvious that Foley was going to retire there, but it wasn't as a kid. That's all.
Yeah.
To be a child again and think wrestling was real.
Yeah, well, not even just
not real, but just not know what's going on. Like, Ross doesn't follow any like social media accounts to do with wrestling or anything. So he says, like, when he watches it, like, he comes in like completely fresh, and it's great. So maybe there's something in that.
It's just wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are the absolute worst.
Yeah. Just continuously arguing and shit on everything. Like, the amount of times where everyone's like, what a great pay-per-view. It's like, actually, it's a really bad pay-per-view, and here's why. Like,
well, Bray Wyatt's one of the best examples where everyone was like, well, yeah, Bray Wyatt is shit. This gimmick shit.
Yeah, nobody liked The Fiend at the end. Nobody liked The Fiend.
As soon as he leaves, we want Bray Wyatt back. Well,
same with Braun, isn't it? Like, Braun, people were complaining that Braun was in the main event in May, and he got released in June, and it was like...
Do you think Braun was worthy of a main event run?
I like Braun. I thought they should have pulled the trigger on him, like 2017 when he had that feud with Roman.
I'm a big Braun fan. I really hope that he's already said on it he will not lace the boots up for anyone apart from WWE, but then he's already broken that rule.
Yeah, it's going to be Qatar anyhow, however it is. So we'll see what happens with Braun.
So it'll be interesting to see what to do with where Braun goes next.
Yeah, I just can't see him fitting in AEW, but I just because he's just not that type. And they've got the Big Show now, haven't they? Doing that.
They have, and he's making his in-ring return.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like they play what want to be the big guys, but I don't know, and I don't watch enough Japanese wrestling to know if he'd fit in there. To be honest, maybe some people say it would, some people say it wouldn't. I always thought Japanese was quite technical, but apparently they do love the big lads as well over there.
Yeah, well, you think over the years they've had quite a lot of people.
Yeah, Prince Albert got a huge over there, didn't he? So
Vader was huge over there. Hogan was huge over there. So they obviously do like the. Gallows and Anderson were huge over there. Yeah,
they were. Yeah, Luke Gallows. I like Luke Gallows. Obviously, he's the friend of not a friend of the show, but he's our favourite henchman. Big fan. But yeah.
No Festus, does he?
No, that was great. Everybody should just come back in a mask and we'll never know it's him. If there's some 7-foot luchador in Mexico, tear it up. It's like from. Where were we? Slamboree 2000. So, bloody David Arquette turns on DDP, which I don't think led anywhere, right? They never had a blow-off feud or anything. That was just,
so
David Arquette was gone, wasn't he?
The following pay-per-view, DDP's pushed into the mid-card.
Yeah.
Great American Bash, pushed back into the mid-card.
He does love a good celebrity pairing, doesn't he, DDP?
Yeah, he does.
Karl Malone off of the NBA, he paired for him, and obviously Jay Leno.
Yeah, I was just about to say Jay Leno.
No. I know, what's his name? David Arquette, yeah. And now he's there doing yoga. Yeah, he also turned up on the American equivalent of Dragon's Den, didn't he?
Did he? I missed this.
The Shark Tank, yeah. Basically, at the end of it, they go, yeah, we're all out. You know we're not going to invest. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to get on telly. That was enough advertising for him, DDP. Yeah, but no, he does great. DDP is one of my favourites of all time.
I agree with you. I mean, I know me and you are very WCW biased.
Because it was the best. It was great.
Yeah. Up until this era, however, I do still enjoy this era of WCW.
Yeah, I think at this point in my childhood, because I was only watching Heat on Channel 4 and worldwide on Friday nights on Channel 5. And I think at this point, Heat was starting to be better, or at least be on more consistently.
Yeah.
It was very hard to even kind of follow WCW at this point, I think. So I just kind of naturally moved to the WWF when everyone else did, without realizing that's what I was doing.
So for me, it was a little bit different because I was obviously watching WCW on the Channel 5 recap, which obviously wasn't the full episode.
But I always thought it was.
Yeah,
it was literally listening to Bischoff's podcast 2 years ago, where he announced the highlight show. And apparently the main show was always on Bravo or TNT or something. I'm like, I never had Sky as a kid. So
neither did I. Still don't. Not a big fan of Sky. I think it's a rip-off for the price.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll get into that.
Agreed. I could go around for fucking Sky for bastards. Anyway.
Well, for me, I kind of lost interest in wrestling after WCW came off Channel 5, which wasn't long after this.
No, it wasn't.
If I recall correctly.
I don't think it lasted the full... I think, it was... By the time Nitro had finished properly, it had been gone from Channel 5 for a good 6 months at least, I think. Yeah,
so I kind of lost interest in wrestling. Occasionally, between 2001, 2005, I was buying the occasional video or DVD from...
Yeah.
I remember, obviously, we grew up in Hull.
Yeah.
I don't know if from down Whitefrigate, there used to be an old... It was a DVD or electronics store, but it just used to sell DVDs and videos. I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know.
It was probably... Can you remember where Kazam was?
Yeah, there's a HMV down there where I used to look.
Yeah, it was more or less opposite that. It was. I'm sure it was the shop that used to be Kazam.
Yeah. And
I went in there one Saturday afternoon. I'd gone out with my grandparents, and I'd looked in the bargain bin, and there was probably 30 different WF videos, VHS. And I was begging my grandma, please can I have some of these? And I think she said, okay, you can pick 5 out. So I picked 5 out, went home and just binged them. And they lasted me months because it's just watch and rewatch. I think there's like Insurrection 2002. There was all like 2002, 2003 shows.
Yeah, I always like the random ones you used to get where it's like a double one where you got a pay-per-view and you got like Best of Raw or something. And I was watching them start out of sync, but that is how I discovered the Kai and Tai Choppy Choppy Up UP storyline. It was from a Best of Raw video.
But for me, that was my first kind of experience of WWF.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really watch anything up until that point.
Yeah. No, I got into WWF through Heat randomly. And then we had like 3 pay-per-views a year, I think.
Yeah.
We get the Royal Rumble fully loaded and something else every year. Well, that might have been it by the end of it. It might be just them too.
Yeah. So then, like, we started doing car boots, and we used to.
Yeah.
My granddad used to do car boots, and whilst I was doing the car boots, I'd walk around the car boot and see what people were selling. I used to pick up like VHS and DVDs. I remember one of my all-time favourite pay-per-views that I picked up on DVD is No Way Out. Is it 2002 when the NWO turned up?
Yes. Yeah. We've not actually. Did we cover that? Yeah, we covered that on the show this year. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I can't remember because that was one I always wanted to watch, and I never got around to watching it.
Yeah, it's great pay-per-view. I think I've watched that 50 times.
Yeah,
and I still enjoy watching it now.
Yeah, I just loved that return promo right at the beginning. I love that. I watched that. I think I immediately watched that on the network. I might not even wait for the network. I might watch that on YouTube actually when I got back into wrestling because I was like. I missed when it went off Channel 4. I couldn't watch it again until we got Sky in like 2006, I think. Yeah. So that was like my lost. When Brock Lesnar, I was like, "Who the hell's Brock Lesnar? Why does everyone care?" Like I just missed that entire.
I missed like a huge era of wrestling. So I've obviously missed like the whole from Invasion probably up to like 2003, 2004 when I started like picking up a little bit again, and then I probably dropped off again. Didn't watch any wrestling up until when did we start like going to Tom's and yours watching wrestling matches? Like 2007.
2007, yeah, something like that, yeah.
So I probably missed like probably about 5 years worth.
That was when we were really back into it, wasn't it? Staying up and watching pay-per-views. I think everyone kind of has that period, don't they, where they fall out of it for a bit and then get back into it.
But then
I had 2 because I completely, when I was at uni, just didn't watch any.
Yeah, well, I'm likewise. So obviously we was heavily into wrestling.
Yeah.
I can't remember we would stop, didn't we? Was it when we all started going to uni?
I sure it was when I went to uni and we just couldn't meet up. And I always watch WrestleMania every year and the Royal Rumble, I think. But everything else I just didn't really.
Yeah, so I kind of dropped off at that point up until probably a year ago when I started watching. Or 2 years ago when AEW started up. So I was like, what's this new company starting?
Yeah.
And that's when I started picking up with AEW. And
I think that's the story for a lot of people, isn't it? I think that's Tom's story as well. I think Tom is definitely more of an AEW guy now. Than a WWE guy. But yeah, no, I think for me it was like when the network came back, I was like, okay, I'll just start watching a few more of these and then.
I've been on and off the network for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Obviously back on it again.
I had it right. I had it when it was only available in America. I had to get a VPN. But it was the same one that let you watch American Netflix. So it was how I got into the American Office as well. It's the same.
American Office, one of my favourite TV shows.
Same. I'm so tempted to watch it from the start. I'm between that and Arrested Development. I'm like, I don't know which one to start first.
So me and my wife have watched The Office US from back or front to back, she would say, at least 10 times.
Amazing. Yeah.
At least. We'll just binge it. So this is our problem. We'll start a series and then we'll just binge. And then it'll last us like 2-3 weeks.
It's like, what do I do now?
What do we do now?
Yeah.
Like the amount of times we started watching The Office, we've watched all like 9 series in the space of 3 weeks, and it's like, really, what do we watch now?
Amazing.
We do the same in Modern Family.
Yeah, I've never. That's on Netflix now, isn't it? I never watched that from start to finish.
It's definitely worth a watch. It's very good. I struggle. I remember picking up a couple of episodes a couple of years ago, thinking it's just a rip off of The Office, where they do like the cut out segments of the interviews. Yeah. But then we started watching it from the beginning. I was like, actually, this is hilarious.
Yeah, I've gone to Schitt's Creek recently.
Love Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, because I was at first I was like, it's just Arrested Development, isn't it? But it's great.
See, I'm not a fan of Arrested Development.
Oh, I love it. Aside from the new series is shite, but the original 3 were amazing.
With Schitt's Creek, Becky had already watched it twice, and then she was like, "You really need to watch it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a go."
love it.
Yeah, I'm only 6 episodes in. Someone recommended it at work, and I'm like, I'll give it a go. But it's like,
I think again, we've been chatting within a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I need to get back into that.
It's done now. I don't think they're doing any more.
Yeah, is it finished now?
I think so.
Yeah.
We've totally digressed here.
I know. Yeah, we're still recording, aren't we? Yeah. So David Arquette costs. After I've said this about 3 times now. What would you give the match?
I gave this 3.5.
Let's have a look and see what old Dave Meltzer thinks. It's a celebrity match. I don't think he's going to be that impressed. 3.25. So he was.
We've missed out the best part of the match, though.
What was that?
Canyon takes a huge
fucking hell.
fall.
Yeah.
From the top of the cage from Mike Olsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was just. Do you know the worst thing how that was? Nobody cared. like literally, he fell off. And then Big Show was like, "Oh, look, he fell off." And then it ended. The show ended, and I was like, "What the hell?" Because he did not, like in Jericho's infamous bump in AEW, where he came off the cage and the padding was there.
Yeah,
it didn't look like Canyon or any of that.
Yeah.
It looked like that was
went
just
straight
ramp,
through,
wasn't it? Yeah,
straight through.
That
Obviously,
was.
This is pre-Benoit days, isn't it? Where they didn't really care about bumps and chair shots and stuff like that. But it's quite strange because, like I said, I've started watching Great American Bash. The promo before the DDP match, Canyon turns on DDP, joins the New Blood.
Ah, yeah. So was there any follow-up between Canyon and Mike Olsen for this bump, or was it just to get a bump on the show?
Yeah, I believe that is the match, Mike Olsen Canyon. I believe I might be totally wrong here. I've watched quite a lot of WCW wrestling shows in the last couple of weeks since watching this, and it kind of all blurs into one.
Yeah. WCW did at that point, didn't it? So what do you give the show overall out of 10?
Out of 10?
Out of 10 for the full show, yeah. Let's go old school wrestling around.
I'm going to go 7.5.
7.5. I think I would agree with that, actually. The Terry Peters classic 6.5 feels a bit too low, doesn't it? Because as bad as WCW was at this point, I really enjoyed watching this show. I thought it was a really fun show to watch. Well,
I told you, didn't I? It was myself that recommended it a few weeks ago, and I said, I've watched this. It's really good. And then we decided to do it. And even watching it for the second time, only a week later, still really enjoyed it. And you can see, because obviously the first time I watched it, I made no notes. Yeah. This time I've watched it, some of the matches I've made hardly any notes whatsoever because I'm so invested in what's going on.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? Sometimes you just get hooked, don't you? And you're like, okay, I forgot what's happening. That's why I normally rely on Ross to write all his notes, but we've got through it, okay.
I mean, this is what I don't like about modern day WWE in some senses. Like, the pay-per-views are too long.
Yeah.
I mean, this was 2.5 hours.
The WWE, to be fair, have got better, I think, since the pandemic. Hopefully, they just stay at that length there.
I'm hoping so, because the pay-per-views are unbearable.
7-hour WrestleMania is hard fun. Like, as much as I love wrestling, and the 7 hours, it's just too much, isn't it?
I mean, a 4-hour show is too much. Cut it down to 3 hours. 3 hours is the perfect amount of time.
Yeah, for sure. For a pay-per-view, and every match needs a story as well. That's what I like about it.
Yeah,
and
just like that's where WWE getting it wrong at the moment, or a year ago, I believe, is just too long. You sit there, and I watch wrestling on my own at home. Yeah, and I find it so hard to just keep invested in it.
Yeah, some of them, like if you stay up to watch a big one, because like the big four, I stay up to watch, and sometimes it's hard. I'm like, right, I'm going to have to get a Red Bull out here because I'm just not invested. But sometimes, like this year's WrestleMania, I was in it the entire time because it was 2 3-hour shows, and I was like, this is so much more consumable and so much better. But yeah, I thought, considering WCW was getting a bad rap at this point, I think if I was a WCW fan in 2000, but with the rest of the knowledge I have now, I'd be watching this thinking, do you know what? They'll be all right. I think They're on the right lines. I know it went completely to shit about 2 months after this, didn't it? With a Dash of the Beach, but
that's why I'm kind of getting up to. So I want to try and do all the pay-per-views through 2000 and kind of estimate where it went wrong for myself.
I think there'll be a noticeable drop off fairly soon. Yeah,
it's all right reading the wrestling fans reviews, but I just want to see it for myself and make my own opinion.
Yeah, because we've not even got to Judy Bagwell and the Pearl yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
That's New Blood Rising. You're not far off that at all, I think.
No, so I think our whole takeout from the show is that wrestling fans are just shit.
Yeah, they are the West. I mean, other than the ones who listen to Wrestling Around.
Oh yeah,
obviously. Of course, and join in on Wrestle Around.
As long as you're not one of those people that sits on Twitter or Facebook, just
to complain, just enjoy it.
Just complaining, just enjoy it.
That's my big takeaway. Is always complain about it, and also if you don't get it, someone else does, and they enjoy it.
Don't take the piss out of it.
Let them enjoy it. Let them enjoy it.
Because there'll be something down the line that'll be the opposite way around.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about this in like music terms, right? So my favorite band, as you know, is the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
Love them, right?
Or by Coldplay.
So what do I do? Obviously, follow by Coldplay. But when I'm listening to the Arctic Monkeys, I just listen to the Arctic Monkeys. I don't then listen to the Arctic Monkeys and I think, right, I'm going to go on Twitter and then just have a go at some U2 fans because I'm like, I don't turn up to a U2 show going, play I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, because that's not what they do. That's what they do. Okay. So it's like, yeah.
If we're talking about this, it's quite a good one. So as you probably know, I'm quite a big Kiss fan.
Yeah.
I've been seeing him a fair few times. I follow him on Facebook and follow him on Instagram. All right. So obviously they did the UK tour back end of not last year, 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is everything's measuring.
Where is the year gone?
So I went to see him, and then every day, obviously when a band's touring, they'll post videos and pictures every day. You've got people following them on Instagram.
Yep.
Who then comment on it saying, why this band's still going, or the shit, or they're too old, or they can't sing like they used to. Do we care?
Don't follow them.
Don't follow them.
Yeah.
If you're not interested, don't follow them. At the end of the day, there's plenty of fans out there that are still invested in that band. Otherwise, they would not be touring.
Yeah, it's that's the thing, and it's like it's the same with WWE in a way. It's like, okay, yeah, talk about it, and sometimes we don't enjoy it as much as we used to. I think that's fine, but I think like going to a WWE show just to boo everything and think this is shit. I just don't get the point. Like, why waste your money? Like, vote with your feet. Don't watch it every week. Like, I think Raw is a bad show. So I guess what? I don't watch Raw anymore.
Yeah,
like that's it.
And I'm sure at some point, if you start seeing things like clips pop up or whatever, and Raw starts to look better, you'll think, actually, I might give Raw a go.
Yeah, I fell out of SmackDown for a long time, and then I thought, the Thunderdome was back on. I thought I'll have a look. Roman Reigns came back. Great character now. I'm fully hooked. Same will probably happen with Raw if they get some good characters in. AEW, I didn't like AEW when I first started.
No,
I started watching a bit of it, and it's like, it's all right now. Yeah,
so I remember.
It's got less Cody. That's why I like it.
Just look at me, con man.
It's just
con
the con
my
man.
way back in.
The con man, Rob Conway. No, this is a new gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely. Tez Fish con.
We're trying like a Mr. America thing in a minute.
Yeah, I was expecting Terry in a mask again, like Terry Fish. Where is Terry Fish anyway?
I prefer Terry Fish, to be honest.
I'd let him back.
I don't know where the fish is.
He's not tweeted for weeks, maybe months.
Just look at me though.
Yeah, just look at you. Getting fired.
What are you going to do, brother?
We're going to fire once again.
When Peter's Mania is running wild.
I can just stop you all.
Wrestling Federation.
Just stop you all.
Yeah, see you later, Terry.
I remember I've listened to the show since day one.
Yeah.
And Wrestling Around.
Yeah.
I remember back in the first probably 20, 30, 40 episodes, you guys were all saying, well, AEW, it's rubbish, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And now Ross seems to be getting like a bit of a fan. Obviously you. I was already a bit of a fan anyway. So
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still prefer WWE at this point. Like, but it's not as bad. It was almost like AEW won't last. I won't bother with it. Basically, was my thinking. Like, here it is, still going, and I'm basically. I think the CM Punk thing's changed things for me now, because now I'm like, this is back to the Monday Night Warrior. That's how I feel now. Like, I mean, let's see. We'll say this and he'll turn up at SummerSlam. But I think I didn't realize how much of a CM Punk fan I was until we rewatched Money in the Bank the other week.
But it's the problem. The problem always comes back to wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And wrestling fans, they pick sides. Just enjoy the shows for what the bloody
You've got to be open-minded. Like, it's like I went to the New Japan show thinking I don't really get New Japan, but I'll go anyway because Ross and Rob are going. Bloody one of the best wrestling shows we've been to. So you've got to keep an open mind.
Yeah, you have. You really have. And you've all these wrestling fans saying, "Oh, AEW shit." Well, yeah, it might be to you, but give it a go. So many people out there that just don't give things a chance. Watch it, you probably enjoy it.
Yeah, for all wrestling, and also WCW. If you heard that was shite, go back and watch Slamboree 2000.
Yeah,
and prove us wrong. Well, and you'll be proved wrong, my friend. We should probably wrap it up because we've been getting off bloody edges, haven't we?
We have.
Peter's film's going to be ending soon. We'll be back on.
I did not expect to be going on this long.
Just to give you some context, at the start of the show, about 2.5 hours ago, when we started recording, I said to Aaron, I don't think we'll go long. We'll go till about 10 o'clock. It's now 11:15. We're still going, but it's been a lovely chat. But I have working morning, so I'd better.
Yeah. So
good job.
So tune in next week because we'll probably have feuds we'd like to see, where we're finally going to discuss Roman Reigns versus The Godfather, featuring a non-stick saucepan in a Kennel of Hell match.
Yeah, in a triple threat feud we'd like to see. You've never seen anything like it. My God. But yeah, next week is going to be a big show because we're going to do SummerSlam 2021. And as I said, we will probably... CM Punk's going to get a mention. Where's he going to turn up? I will be
honest, I think next week's show is going to probably go like 4 hours because we're going to have so much to talk about in regards to wrestling news.
We're going to
have SummerSlam.
Yeah.
We're going to have feuds you'd like to see.
Yeah. And all going well, there's going to be 4 of us on it. You're going to get double the action of what you had this week.
Could be lucky. You could be even luckier and Terry might not turn up. So
I forgot.
3 of us again.
We sacked Annie. Yeah, I forgot we sacked him. Throughout the show, of course. How did I forget that? It's almost like we recorded it all at once, but no.
So tune in to your 3 most favourite wrestling podcast presenters. Lou Markham, and where can we find you at?
I'm at twitter.com/Lou Markham or Instagram.com/Lou. There's not a lot of wrestling stuff on. It's just landscapes on Instagram. So you best follow my Twitter for wrestling content. And Aaron, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at FranklinStein_91, I believe. And then Twitter. As I said earlier in the show, I am very new to Twitter, still figuring out how it kind of works, but I'm slowly giving all the wrestling marks plenty of shit.
Yeah, basically, you just get abused. You abuse and get abused. Basically, that's how Twitter works.
Not face any abuse personally yet, so we'll see how that goes. But you can find me on Twitter at Franklin.
See how that goes. I'm going to furiously type abuse.
I did give someone crap the other day where there was basically, they was talking about Tucker. Oh, look, Ross will love this.
Tucker, he loves the good Tucker, yeah.
So they was talking about Tucker potentially returning to WWE. A few people were commenting basically saying, I can't wait for Tucker to return to WWE. So I just commented saying, cannot wait for his main event run.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Imagine, mate, if Tony Khan's like, well, we couldn't get CM Punk. And then also, it's just really, look in my eyes. And it's just Buddy Tucker walks out. The United Center will burn to the ground if that happens, but I'm fairly certain that we're going to be talking about CM Punk in AW next week.
So you can find Ross, who hasn't appeared on the show. I believe he's on Twitter at...
Yeah, I think it's the Ross M. So if you like reading tweets from 2015, then follow Ross.
I started following him the other day and then realised that he has not posted in years.
He logs on like every day.
He does.
He's always on there. But he last posted in 2014.
And if you follow Terry Peters on any social media, or you'd like to follow him, then you can burn in hell.
Yeah, he is at Textfish Pod, and that's it, I believe. Join us tonight. Twitch.tv/Rest Around tonight at 7:30. And also Rest Around everywhere you look. Facebook, Instagram, sometimes.
Yeah, I think that needs to be handed over to someone who is more responsible.
Do you know what? Terry's got access as well. It does nothing right. Well, I'll give you access as well, Aaron. Someone.
Yeah, I'll probably be better because I don't really post much on my Instagram.
I will upload my. I just need to do the thumbnail. That's my big issue. I keep forgetting to do the thumbnail.
You started on the Aaron Franklin is restaurant.
I've not done that either. I've not done anything, to be honest. Luckily, on Twitter, it posts it automatically when I upload the show. So that's the extent of my social media, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
I might start using the Rest Around Twitter to give shit.
Yeah, Ross recommended we did that, but I was just too concerned on my own brand. You know me.
I think just getting your name out there.
At Lou Markham. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Join us next week. I always have a go at Ross for his outro. It's taking too long. This one's been about an hour. But yeah, join us next week on Wrestling Around. See you then for SummerSlam 2021.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's an episode we recommend.
What up, dope? I'm Jalen Rose. I partner with the New York Post to bring you the Renaissance Man podcast. Each week, we're discussing the latest trends in culture, fashion, entertainment, travel, food, and more. My most recent guest is none other than the legendary makeup artist, Bobby Brown. I talked to Bobby about the changes she's seen in the beauty industry and using your insecurities to drive your career. You can find the Renaissance Man podcast every Thursday on Apple, Spotify, or any of your preferred podcast platforms.
Acast recommends.